And then you call me, and it's not so bad, it's not so bad. I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life. Oh, just to be with you is having the best day of my life.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, RevoNews.ai, and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock. From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning. A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Wednesday, February 25, 2026. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says it would be foolhardy and detrimental for CARICOM to turn a blind eye to the unfolding crisis in Cuba. The Water Ministry tells the country to brace for droughts. NIA head wants apology from National Security Minister for remarks made about civil society and human rights groups. In regional news, TNT's Prime Minister says it was the U.S. and not CARICOM that stood by her country in its hour of need. In international news, Donald Trump talks up his accomplishments and blasts foes in longest ever State of Union address. In sports, Windies women aim to avoid series sweep against Sri Lanka. And in business, a Paramount Skydance sweetens proposal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. The details after the break.
You've stood with us through every headline and every difficult moment. The Family Club is how we keep this going strong. Together, join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club now on Patreon.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Outgoing chairman of CARICOM and the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, is calling for smart diplomacy and collective action to assist the Cuban people. Addressing the 50th regular meeting or conference of heads of government of CARICOM in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Holness declared that the crisis rocking the Spanish-speaking country cannot be ignored. He warns that further deterioration in Cuba has the potential to spill over into CARICOM. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The situation in Cuba continues to deteriorate. Shortages of energy, food, and other critical supplies is quickly spiraling into a major humanitarian crisis. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says CARICOM cannot turn a blind eye.
We must address the situation in Cuba with clarity and courage. Cuba is our Caribbean neighbor. Its doctors and teachers have served across our region. Its people are part of our shared history. But today, the Cuban people face severe economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian strain. Jamaica is sensitive to the struggles of the Cuban people. Humanitarian suffering serves no one.
An executive order by U.S. President Donald Trump has targeted any nation providing oil to Cuba with the threat of punitive measures. Several former CARICOM heads of government condemned the action as economic warfare, calling for the action to be rescinded. Rather than join in an outright condemnation, Dr. Holness called for cooler heads to prevail.
This moment, therefore, calls not for rhetoric, but for responsible statecraft, even as we encourage support for humanitarian relief. Jamaica supports constructive dialogue between Cuba and the United States aimed at de-escalation, reform, and stability. We believe there is space, perhaps more space now than in years past, for pragmatic engagement that protects the Cuban people from any further deterioration in their circumstances and instead promotes national and regional prosperity.
While warning that instability in Cuba has the potential to impact CARICOM, Dr. Holness appeared to criticize the country's governance arrangements.
It must be clear that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain confined to Cuba. It will affect migration, security, and economic stability across the Caribbean basin. It is therefore important that we carefully consider this matter and take collective action. Let there be no doubt, Jamaica stands firmly for democracy, human rights, political accountability, and open market-based economies. We do not believe that long-term stability can exist where economic freedom is constrained. Sustainable prosperity requires openness to ideas, to enterprise, to investment, and to the will of the people.
Mr. Holness says CARICOM can play a role in de-escalating the crisis. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And Prime Minister Holness says the varied political perspectives in CARICOM should not be seen as a sign of weakness or division. He reminded his audience that CARICOM is not a political union.
Our treaty does not mandate a singular foreign policy or a supranational authority. And because we are sovereign states, each accountable to our own electorates, we will at times assess risks differently, sequence priorities differently, or interpret geopolitical opportunities differently. That is not evidence of the weakness of our association. This is the natural expression of sovereign democracies navigating an increasingly turbulent global environment.
The regional bloc has faced a significant criticism over what has been seen as a divided response to geopolitical issues. Trinidad and Tobago has broken with its counterparts on the capture by the United States of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. But Dr. Holness says the diverse political views among CARICOM states is a source of strength, not weakness. He says this allows each regional partner to draw on the effective solutions developed in another's jurisdiction. The Prime Minister used Jamaica's own experience with crime as an example.
For decades, we have confronted levels of violence more severe and more persistent than elsewhere in the region. It has forced us to develop responses, legislative, operational, community-based, and technological, that may now offer lessons for sister states encountering emerging criminal threats. Our region's variability, therefore, is not an obstacle to integration. It is integration, practical, organic, and rooted in shared learning rather than a forced concept of uniformity. Still, even as sovereign states with sometimes differing priorities, there are core challenges such as regional security that binds us together and demand deeper cooperation.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. The Ministry of Water has convened the first meeting of its Drought Management Committee for 2026 as the country braces for lower than normal levels of rainfall. In a statement on Tuesday, the ministry says it's assessing the country's water resources and the growing impact of reduced rainfall on national supply systems. Mahira Stewart tells us more.
The committee, chaired by Water Minister Matthew Samuda, is a subcommittee of the Integrated Water Resource Management Council. It received technical reports from key water sector agencies detailing current storage levels, system performance, and emerging risks linked to below-average rainfall. The Meteorological Services branch reported that the early rainfall period, typically experienced between April and June, is projected to be significantly below normal. If those projections materialize, the officials warned that water storage levels will be critical to preventing a prolonged drought from severely affecting households, agriculture, and essential services. The National Water Commission cautioned that without a substantial increase in rainfall, water restrictions may become necessary in several areas. Particular concern was raised about the western region, where infrastructure remains compromised following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Meanwhile, the National Irrigation Commission Limited highlighted mounting challenges in the eastern end of the island, especially within the Yalas Basin. In response, Minister Samuda directed Rural Water Supply Limited to implement a two-part emergency action plan. The first measure requires a comprehensive assessment of rural water supply systems in hurricane-affected communities to determine repair costs and identify infrastructure that can be rehabilitated quickly to provide immediate relief and strengthen drought resilience. The second directive orders an urgent audit of water storage capacity at critical institutions, including hospitals, schools, children's homes, homes for the elderly, and police stations, particularly those housing detainees. The minister is expected to submit a detailed report to Cabinet outlining further recommendations to strengthen national water security if below normal rainfall persists. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Principal Director of National Integrity Action, NIA, Dr. Gavin Myers, believes the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, should apologize for his recent comment accusing human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice JFJ of living off blood money. Dr. Myers was speaking on Nationwide at 5 with host Ricardo Brooks on Tuesday.
Should Dr. Chang apologize?
Dr. Chang should know what he has said. Dr. Chang should know what he has said is not in good faith, and he should do the right thing.
And what is that?
He should apologize. He should accept that whatever was happening, it was out of sync and out of place.
In an interview on Nationwide this morning on Monday, Dr. Chang argued that the constant broadsides against the police force by civil society groups was selfish and unfair. He name-dropped JFJ, accusing them of living off blood money. Later that day, JFJ responded, describing Dr. Chang's comments as unfortunate, untrue, and inflammatory. The group noted they would be seeking legal advice on the matter. Dr. Myers says the minister's words are an attack on civil society's right to comment on public issues.
I am still confused as to, one, where it is coming from, and two, what is the aim of it. I think the commentary was unfortunate. We're losing the plot. If we're building Jamaica together and we're all citizens of Jamaica, we all have a constitutional right to both seek information, to share information, and to speak up on things. So anyone who is saying that doing that is dangerous, I'm questioning what is it dangerous to, and whom is it that is asking for it to be dangerous. So I'm really confused.
And Dr. Gavin Myers, the principal director of NIA. Now, another suspect in last Saturday's fatal triple shooting in Denham Town, West Kingston, has turned himself in. He is a 33-year-old Dwayne Bowen, otherwise known as Juby, of Guys Hill District in St. Catherine. Bowen turned himself in to the Hunts Bay Police on Tuesday afternoon. Another suspect remains at large, Joseph Kenneth Smith, otherwise called Beanie Bud. On Monday, another suspect, a 33-year-old Chef Decomi Mahoney, otherwise called Romy, surrendered to the police. The deadly shooting claimed the life of 3-year-old Jace Pinnock on Saturday. His father, 31-year-old Kerry Pinnock, otherwise called Boise, succumbed to injuries on Monday. Jace's 8-year-old brother remains hospitalized. It's theorized that the fatal shooting may be linked to gang activity. 2 of the wanted men are allegedly members of the Street Corner gang. Tense back and forth exchanges between the defense and prosecutors over hearsay and admissibility of evidence were the highlight of Tuesday's proceedings in the ongoing Klansman gang trial in the Supreme Court. The exchanges occurred during the cross-examination of a senior policeman. The policeman testified in relation to count 18 on the 32-count indictment, a charge of shooting with intent. Robian Williams reports.
The policeman told the court that on February 27, 2020, about 11:20 p.m., while on duty at the CIB office in Portmore, a policeman visited the station and made a report to him about his home being invaded by two men. He said he started investigations and traveled in a service vehicle behind the complainant to his home where the alleged incident occurred. On arrival, he said he observed 2 or 3 spent casings near the perimeter wall of the house. He also saw spent casings within the perimeter of the house but could not recall whether they were inside or outside. He said he contacted the Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM and Scenes of Crime personnel to process the scene. The spent casings were photographed, removed by INDECOM, sealed in the presence of members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and handed over to Scenes of Crime. The heated exchanges arose during cross-examination by defense attorney Paul Gentles, who pressed the policeman about the type and color of the vehicle the gunmen allegedly used to escape. Prosecutors objected, arguing that any such evidence would amount to hearsay, as the information would have been told to the investigator by someone else. Gentles then attempted to question the witness about notes allegedly made in the station diary regarding his observations and information received. The Crown objected again, stating that the station diary was not in evidence. Gentles asked a question, but before the witness could answer, counsel gave out, "Wait, the Crown is about to object." When the prosecutor didn't object, Gentles beckoned to the witness to answer. Gentles asked a similar question and again humorously said, "Wait, before you answer, the Crown is getting ready to object." This time the Crown did object, stating again for the record that the question was eliciting hearsay evidence and counsel Gentles ought to know better. Defense attorneys were seen huddling in court in an effort to determine how to obtain the information. Gentles suggested that the station diary be agreed upon and submitted into evidence, but the Crown rejected the proposal. After further objections and arguments lasting more than 15 minutes, the judge upheld the prosecution's position. When the witness resumed, Gentles asked whether he had been looking for 2 men as part of his investigation. The policeman responded, yes. He also said he was looking for a white Nissan Tida motor car based on information received, prompting another objection from the Crown on hearsay grounds. The policeman confirmed that he interviewed other witnesses apart from the policeman involved. In re-examination, he clarified that he was referring to persons within the household where the incident occurred. Defendants Sharon Gilzine and Michael Wildman are charged with shooting with intent in relation to the incident. The trial resumes on Wednesday morning. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Where music is played, copyright owners must be paid. This time signal is brought to you by Jamaica Music Society. The time by Jams is
6:17.
If you love the vibes, the laughs, and the real talk, then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
In regional and international news this morning, regional, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Besessa on Tuesday launched an onslaught against CARICOM leaders, saying while TNT remained vested in the regional bloc, her country would no longer bind itself to the region's political ideologies, foreign policy positions, or security frameworks. That's according to the Trinidad Express. Instead, Prasad Bessessa said TNT will craft its own foreign and security policies to defend its sovereignty as it sees fit. She also signaled that while TNT supported regional movement in principle, the burden of illegal immigration prevented any further commitment at this time. Prasad Bessessa outlined her position during an address at the opening ceremony of the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Governments of the Caribbean Community in St. Kitts. It was the first CARICOM meeting she attended since her election in April 2025. She outlined the issues that she had with the regional body and criticized CARICOM's unreliability in defending Trinidad and Tobago against threats from the former Nicolas Maduro regime in Venezuela. She said it was the United States that stood with TNT, and she extended gratitude to U.S. President Donald Trump. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump in international news has hailed his first year back in the White House as he delivered the longest ever State of the Union speech. In an address lasting 1 hour and 47 minutes, he repeatedly pushed his economic agenda, saying he had overseen a turnaround for the ages.
Tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages. Today, our border is secure, our spirit is restored, inflation is plummeting, incomes are rising fast, the roaring economy is roaring like never before, and our enemies are scared, our military and police are stacked, and America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
On Iran, Trump said his preference was to solve this problem through diplomacy, but warned the country against pursuing a nuclear weapons program. Turning his attention to tariffs, the U.S. president, after briefly shaking hands with several Supreme Court justices, went on to call their recent tariffs ruling very unfortunate. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Unlock winnings, unlock value, unlock postpaid with Digicel. When you sign up, stay active or upgrade, you could win up to $1 million and more. Unlock winnings with Digicel.
Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6 to April 4.
You have stood with us through every headline and every difficult moment. The Family Club is how we keep this going strong. Together, join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club now on Patreon.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Time now for your morning sports. West Indies women's cricket team will be aiming to salvage pride and avoid a series sweep when they face Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international on Wednesday in Grenada. The Caribbean side trailed 2-0 in the three-match series after suffering narrow defeats in the opening 2 encounters. They went down by 10 runs in the first ODI before falling short again in the second match, losing by 14 runs in another closely contested battle. Despite competitive performances with both bat and ball, West Indies were unable to get over the line at crucial moments, allowing Sri Lanka to clinch the series with a game to spare. The hosts will now be focused on tightening their execution in key phases of the match as they look to finish the series on a positive note in front of home supporters. After losing the first leg 3-2, AS Monaco traveled to PSG's for the return leg of the Champions League playoff on Wednesday. For this European showdown, Monaco head coach Sébastien Poconaioli welcomes back several key players. Centre-back Christian Muizo, right-back Vanderson, and attacking midfielder Magnus Akliush are all included in the ASM squad. Meanwhile, Real Madrid and Benfica will battle for a place in the round of 16 when they face off in their second leg of the knockout phase. After the teams combined for a 6-goal thriller in the league phase, they were considerably more conservative in the first leg of their highly anticipated tie. Only one sensational individual goal from Vinicius Jr. set Real Madrid and Benfica apart from the first leg. In other fixtures, Atalanta play Borussia Dortmund and Juventus welcome Galatasaray. Finally, in your morning sports, the Atlanta Copperheads have made a defining statement ahead of the National Rugby League Las Vegas Nines, appointing Roy Calvert as head coach across their men's premier, men's community, and women's community squads. For those who follow rugby league's emerging markets, it feels inevitable. Calvert, longtime leader of the Jamaica National Rugby League team, better known globally as the Reggae Warriors, helped lay foundations that carried Jamaica to the Rugby League World Cup. His career has been defined by persistence, resourcefulness, and building programs where few believed they could exist. A student of coaching minds like Trent Robinson, Craig Bellamy, and Wayne Bennett, Calvert blends a structure with adaptability critical in the fast, open nines format. Rather than impose a rigid system, he has built Atlanta's diverse roster around athleticism, transferable skills, and tempo. Club president and CEO Curtis Goddard called him the perfect leader for this moment, pointing to his grit, intellect, and global perspective. And that's it for your morning sports.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In business this morning, Paramount Skydance has boosted its proposal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. This with an offer that could finally knock rival bidder Netflix out of the game. Warner Brothers, which put itself up for sale last year, said Paramount had agreed to increase its purchase offer by $1 per share, creating a bid that its board had determined could reasonably be expected to lead to a superior proposal. Warner Brothers said it would engage in further talks before making a final decision about whether to abandon the deal it struck with Netflix in December. Netflix, which would have 4 days to make a counter-offer, did not immediately comment. In a recent interview with the BBC, Netflix co-chief executive Ten Sarandos declined to say whether the company was prepared to engage in a bidding war, calling the back-and-forth part of the process. Apple has said it will make some of its Mac Mini desktop computers in the US for the first time as the technology giant works to boost domestic production under pressure from US President Donald Trump. The iPhone maker unveiled plans on Tuesday for a significant expansion of its factory in Houston, Texas, to manufacture Mac Mini devices and artificial intelligence servers. Apple's latest move comes after the firm pledged last year to increase investment in the U.S. by $600 billion. The company did not immediately respond to a request for a comment on the planned scale of Mac Mini production in the U.S. The niche compact computers currently made in Asia account for less than 5% of Mac sales. Chief Executive Tim Cook said in a statement that Apple was deeply committed to the future of American manufacturing, and they're proud to significantly expand their footprint in Houston, with the production of Mac Mini starting later this year. The company also touted plans for an advanced manufacturing training center at its Houston location. In foreign exchange trading now, the Jamaican dollar has lost 15 cents and will open trading against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $156.93. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican has lost $1.46 and will open selling for an average $115.03. And finally, the Jamaican dollar has gained $1.19 and will begin trading for an average $211.12 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
The National Land Agency helps landowners register land through its systematic land registration program. The time by the NLA is
6:30.
We established Plan Secure Jamaica, backed it with a $90 billion budget, investing in our security forces. We are now reaping the results. The next phase of the plan is to move the society to peace.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Every voice matters here, and yours has always mattered to us.
The Family Club is your front row seat to be part of the conversation officially.
Join the nationwide 90FM Family Club today on Patreon.
You may have been hearing the teasers. Now it's official. Beginning Monday, February 9, 2026, Nationwide News Network launches something special. The Nationwide Family Club, exclusively on Patreon.
With the Family Club, members get early access to our documentaries before anyone else. Some of your favorite segments, including Cliff Says, What's on My Mind, Cover Story, and others, will now be a click away inside the Family Club. There are 3 tiers of membership. First, Bronze, the Family Insider, behind-the-scenes access, Monday motivational videos, members-only chats, and on-air birthdays and anniversary shoutouts.
Second, Savor, nationwide VIP. Breaking news alerts, exclusive documentaries, quizzes, personal milestones celebrated on air, and weekly family roll call mentions. Oh, and for our biggest supporters,
our gold category, elite listener, full archive access, early releases, private studio tours, live show experiences, personalized birthday videos, and exclusive live streams. From historic election coverage to lifetime, impact, Jamaican milestones, and rare archive content. This is nationwide like you've never seen it before. The Nationwide Family Club, coming to you February 9, 2026 on Patreon.
Join the family, support Nationwide 90FM. the station that informs, entertains, and educates. Visit patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. That's patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
What's the matter, people? Solidarity. Solidarity. Everybody wants the same thing, don't they? Everybody wants a happy end. They wanna see the game on Saturday. They wanna be somebody's friend. Everybody wanna work for a living. Everybody want their children warm. Everybody wants to be forgiven. They want a shelter from the storm. Look at me, I ain't your enemy. We walk on common ground. We don't need to fight each other. What we need. Solidarity. Oh, solidarity. Solidarity. Oh, yeah. Solidarity. Nobody likes to ask for money. Nobody likes to play the clown. Nobody likes to wait in a long line. Nobody likes being pushed around. Everybody wants a family protected. They want to express themselves. Everybody wants to live forever. Look at me, I ain't your enemy. Don't believe everything you hear. This is no time to fight each other. What we need. Solidarity. Solidarity. Oh, solidarity. Solidarity. Oh, yeah. Solidarity. 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 Hey, people, understand your woman is just a man. Don't you judge him for his ways and flaws. No, speak of love tomorrow. You'll be doing good, my brother. You're working for the greatest cause. He without sin made of the first stone, and not even a pebble can cast. No, Pharisees and scribes crucify the Son of God. Be careful who you nail on cross. 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 Things is getting rougher and some can't find no supper, much less a good breakfast. No, what a lucky things a Rasta youth no longer got. And not the dreadlocks got the world steadfast. Grudges are forbidden, forgive to be forgiven. When another man trespass, Heckle vex with Jekyll and the pot across the kettle. Yo, be careful who you nail on cross. 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 Today might be for you, but Jah might give me tomorrow. So don't count you it too far.
So is it you're gonna leave and come back with another outfit? Because I think you set up yourself this morning. So now our YouTubers expect a fashion show. For those out there in Raiderland, yeah. You missed that. You wanna hop on over to the YouTube channel. Yeah, because you missed that moment. Wait, it's two different socks you have on?
That's right. That's right.
Different socks. All right, George. A very good morning. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning, the big show NTM. Thank you so much for coming on over this Wednesday morning. It is Wednesday, February 25, 2026. Somebody says short like. How tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". There you go.
Tall. Very, very tall intellectually. So the rest doesn't matter.
I'll work with that. I'll work with that. Kingsley Graham says George are the best, and Ricky JM says if you couldn't find one foot of the socks, why you have two different foot of socks?
I've long maintained that a pair of socks is one pair left foot, one pair right foot.
Yes, so it don't matter.
It doesn't
if
matter.
it matches.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah,
that doesn't
there
matter.
you go. Yeah. Carol Barnaby saying if it's crazy socks day.
No. I wear these are the socks I wear every day. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I love it though.
Thank you very much.
Very nice on sound.
Thank you very much. My blazer comes courtesy of Trendy Statement Pieces by Chris.
All right.
Lane Plaza, halfway tree, shop number 4. And Miss V, the mom of Chris, lovely lady. And we spent some time yesterday, looking at some items. And she said, George, you have to rock this one on a special occasion. And I say, a special occasion is every day for my viewers and listeners.
Certainly.
You know, so I'm coming in this morning. So they might look for me, King and Nigel. So I say, what? I can't tidy.
Do you have a special assignment we don't know about?
Is it what's on my mind? No, but my birthday is away in November. The special assignment is to talk to the listeners here. I have an OB later at Pegasus, but this get-up isn't for the OB, it's for my NTM peeps, because they deserve the best.
Certainly.
Because they are the best.
Certainly.
They're miserable, they're quarrelsome, but we love every one of them. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Yeah, man. Listeners, viewers, in the time left, allow me to say, well, the AC seems particularly loud this morning, Tona. You're not hearing it because you have on the earphones, but it's all right.
No, man, I am.
I want to say that what happened on Monday and Tuesday on this show was extraordinary in many respects. If only for the fact that it wasn't ordinary. It was extraordinary. Dr. Horace Chang unloaded, and then Daryl Vaz unloaded as well. And those on the receiving end were more than singed by what he said. Perhaps there are some who have been burnt to a crisp, others in another state of distress by virtue of the words spoken by the two gentlemen. Let me say up front that I'm always uncomfortable when politicians attack the media. Always. And if there's one thing any of you who listen and watch this show will know about me, is that I'm always preaching about the collision and the clash of self-interest. It is because I'm in the media why I have that view and I have that discomfort when politicians attack the media. Because I am one of them. The media personnel, that is, the media representative, a media worker. And as one of them, as a part of the constituency, it jars when the media is under attack. Added to that, my former role, I served the Press Association of Jamaica as president for 2 terms, 5 years, led through the COVID years with a very, very strong team. Very proud of what we did at the PAJ over those 2 terms. And now I find myself as a member of the Media Association of Jamaica Limited. That's the organization that represents the media owners, the media bosses, if you may. So from PAJ to MAJ. So I'm deep in the thing. I have skin in the game. So I'm going to feel a particular way when we are under attack. In the same way, I feel a particular way when Nationwide is the subject of the attacks. And unlike what Vaz did, Vaz mentioned a media entity. Other people have mentioned by name journalists here and have incited their supporters to hate us. Vaz launched a broadside against the Gleaner is not less unpalatable for me as a stakeholder in media. But to his credit, he didn't name anybody on Tuesday. Get me straight now, because I know some of you are saying, oh, so you're taking sides in this because you're a media person, you're a media practitioner. No, listen carefully what I'm saying now. Because of self-interest, I feel uneasy about the media being attacked. But at the same time, the license we as media practitioners have to call things as we see them, to hold elected officials to account, to hold those in authority to account, it's an awesome power that we have. Wilmot Perkins wielded that power for years with effectiveness. His comments, his criticism, his insight were like a Saracen blade, sharpened on the finest whetstone a blacksmith could provide. Cliff Hughes, John Maxwell of blessed memory, Barbara Gludon, whose hotline I listened to more than I listened to Perkins, because my grandmother rather was a RJR acolyte, and the radio couldn't come off of that, so I only heard Perkins when I was elsewhere. So many of the stalwarts in media, those who hold power to account, have done so well. It's become an industry in and of itself. And journalists give it. We dish it out when we believe the need to dish it out arises. And it's because of that why, self-interest aside, I will not rebuke any elected official for hitting back. I believe it's their right if they believe they have been wronged, and if, as Vaz says, it's a series of wrongs that have been committed against him. That's what he believes. I always say one of the difficulties in communication is John Tom says something to Roseanne. Roseanne is offended. And John Tom says, but I didn't mean for you to be offended. And Roseanne says, yes, but it's not what you think you mean. It's what I receive from what you say. And I'm saying to you, from what you said, I am offended. John Tom can't understand because he's saying, my words were not offensive and I didn't mean to offend you. And Roseanne say, you're missing the point. It's not what you think you said. It's how I receive what you said. So I say that to say that Vaz's perception is Vaz's perception. Extending it to say Chang's perception is Chang's perception. How many times have government officials been the subject of scathing criticism from human rights activists and lobbyists? How many times have they been the subject of vituperative criticism from media practitioners? How many times? Many times. And they've taken it on the chin and they've moved on. Which is why I say I don't like this lawsuit business and seeking legal advice business. Because we are, all of us in the public eye, in the criticism business. But some of us behave as if we are here to dish it out. And if we are the subject of criticism, we run to the principal, we put on our clothes and go on a station and go and report to Sarge that we've been criticized. So I say this morning that where respect is concerned and where criticism is coming from a quarter that is not intended to demean the office that it is coming from or the quarter that it is coming from, and words to demean are not being used by the party complaining, I think it's the health of a democracy when journalists, civil society actors, human rights campaigners can dish it out, and then those who we dish it out to day in, day out can also dish it back. And we accept that that's the nature of the game, because this is a game. A serious game, but it is a game. It's not shiny skip. And a marble, or as we say in the country, tar. Yeah, play tar. Yeah? It's not it. It's a serious game. And I'm saying, we are all traders in this business of words at the end of the day. And if words are used to criticize you, then use words and defend yourself. Without seeking to be petty, without seeking to engage the referee to say, I am being criticized. So I say this morning that from a pure self-interest perspective, the broadside against the media has me feeling uneasy. But at the same time, why should Vaz, an individual who's been the subject of some of the worst kind of slangs and slurs, not by newspapers or media entities, but by people in the public, but who has been the subject of intense criticism from newspapers, public commentators, and journalists, why should he not dish some of it back? Why should Chang and others like him, who've been the subject of intense criticism, who've been roasted over the years when things are going wrong by civil society actors and human rights activists who are speaking on behalf of constituencies, legitimately so, why should they not clap back? It's the health of the democracy. It's the democracy advertising its well-being. When that can happen, we consume, we digest, our bowels move, and we move on. And that's my perspective.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:50.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is 23 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 24 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 19 degrees Celsius.
I didn't hear you leave. I wonder how am I still here?
This show is your escape, your vibe, your reset.
But I will go down with this shit.
If Urban Paradise ever brings you peace, joy, or a little relief,
surrender.
Come closer.
What you won't do.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
You tried everything, but you don't give up.
Attention restaurants, caterers, and hotels. This Saturday, February 28, DFL Importers Limited hosts a massive yard sale at 71 Malines Road, Kingston, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy unbeatable bargains on porcelain plates, wine glasses, towels, disposables, and a wide range of hospitality essentials. Save big and elevate your service with quality products at incredible prices. It's one day only. Arrive early and don't miss this chance to grab amazing deals.
I didn't hear you leave. I wonder how am I still here?
This show is your escape, your vibe, your reset.
But I will go down with this shit.
If Urban Paradise ever brings you peace, joy, or a little relief,
surrender.
Come closer.
What you won't do.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
You tried everything, but you don't give up.
Time now for Street Smarts 1 with Ludlow McLean, the gentleman driving the lorry on the streets of the corporate area and elsewhere. Good morning, Ludlow. What's up?
And you hear the on? You hear the horn? morning. All you listeners, morning, George, morning, Tona. Well, let me just tell you, Kingston 20, I'm talking about like Laney Drive, Perkins Estate. Well, if you're on the Laney Drive heading towards Perkins Boulevard, you're going to have some traffic that takes you onto Radio Zoo. So you just have a few minutes delay there. Coming out the hill, it is steady, so it's steady going all the way around. But there are certain parts of Radio Zoo, traffic with Radio Zoo to connect with Meadowbrook Avenue. Then it moves again, and then in the vicinity of the primary school, and you have a little build up there. But going further down, the flow is steady. On the other side, coming from the Manor Park side, Constance Spring Road, there's some vehicles coming from Old Stony Hill Road and Stony Hill Road, and they come into the Manor Park area. And Manor Park is steady all the way to Olivia Road, but going further down Constance Spring Road, there's a lot of traffic going past Constance Spring and Manantine Road, that's Mayor Brown's Corner, and going further to connect with Shorter and Constance Spring, and then going further down, a lot of traffic move, but it's moving all the way down. The same thing along Manantine Road, converging with Constance Spring Road, and there's a little build up there. But generally speaking, the traffic is flowing. But on Robin, Constance Spring, you remember that build up also, and then into Harper Street Square, it's coming from South Woodland Avenue, and East Park, back to East Park. But those are the areas that are building now. Sure, there are other areas because like no legal is also building. Time being, first to put on the one. Over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. The connection undermining you at the very end, but we got the substance of what you wanted to say. Thank you very much for Street Smarts 1. Up next, your word of the day.
Your word of the day is spelled M-U-M-P-S-I-M-U-S, spelled M-U-M-P-S-I-M-U-S.
Mumpsimus. Mumpsimus. Mumpsimus.
Mumpsimus is your word of the day. Definition: a person who clings to a tradition or custom that is practiced even though it has been proven to be irrational. Mumpsimus, or a traditional custom or idea adhered to although shown to be unreasonable. Mumpsimus is your word of the day. M-U-M-P-S-I-M-U-S, first recorded between 1520 and 1530. To use Mumpsimus in a sentence. Even though her family tried to convince her it was silly, the Mumpsimus avoided leaving the house on Friday, the 13th. Another, convinced that beginner's luck would bring him a big win, the delusionary Mumpsimus placed foolish bets over and over. Mumpsimus is your word of the day. Up next, your features at the top of the hour of the news.
Did you know there are some diseases that your pets can pass on to you? Today in Pets World, we'll be looking at how both you and your dogs can be affected by hookworms. Hookworms, by nature, are intestinal parasites that live in your dog's digestive system. The hookworm would attach itself to the lining of your dog's intestinal wall and feed on their blood. Once fully matured, the hookworm will lay eggs that are then passed on to the environment through your dog's feces. But you may ask, how does your dog become infected to begin with? Well, young hookworms or larvae hatched from eggs that live in the soil. These larvae infect your dog by penetrating their skin or by your dog ingesting the larvae when licking themselves. Hookworms are a serious threat to dogs because they suck blood and can cause internal blood loss. Young puppies usually do not survive the blood loss caused by being infected with a hookworm without getting a blood transfusion. Older dogs may display symptoms of diarrhea and show signs of weight loss. To prevent your dogs being infected with a hookworm, take them to the veterinarian to be given deworming medication. Puppies should be treated for hookworms at 2, 4, 6, and 8 weeks of age. This frequent treatment schedule is recommended due to the very high rate of hookworm infection in puppies. Fecal examinations should be done 2 to 4 times during the first year of your dog's life and 1 to 2 times per year in older dogs. Nursing dogs should be treated along with their puppies. But did you know, as the pet owner, you also run the risk of becoming infected by hookworms? You can become infected if the hookworm larvae from contaminated soil penetrates your skin. This will most likely occur if you walk barefooted on the beach, the garden, or other areas where dogs may defecate. The infection may result in an itching sensation at the point where the larvae enters the skin. The condition is easily treated, but can cause mild to extreme discomfort in the affected person. Similar to steps for prevention of other intestinal parasites, it is essential to keep your dog's surroundings clean and prevent the dog from being in contaminated areas. If you think your dog is infected with hookworms, call your veterinarian to schedule an appointment for evaluation, diagnosis, and safe, effective treatment. That's all for Pets World. Until next time.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Formal and informal channels are created intentionally by management to achieve the organization's goals. This is Lifestyle Pages on formal and informal communication channels. Advantages of formal communication are more effective when an organization is consistently going and achieving its goals, which builds bridges in communication, prevents bogging down of formal lines. Our channels of communication are well defined and clearly communicated to all employees at all levels. It prevents top management from being bogged down with too much trivia and idle gossip. Managers know what top management or the owner, such as an entrepreneur, needs to hear and know. Formal channels are designed to meet specific needs, helping to monitor the company's activities and ensure that problems are resolved. Formal channels of communication create a good atmosphere that reflects professionalism. Formal lines of communication help to consolidate and strengthen the organization and keep management personnel in control. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
7 o'clock.
One nation, one purpose, to rebuild stronger than before. Build it to last with tools and equipment from National Supply. The temperature by National Supply is
23 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
the most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news this morning, Wednesday, February 25, 2026, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness said it would be foolhardy and detrimental for CARICOM to turn a blind eye to the unfolding crisis in Cuba. The Water Ministry tells the country to brace for droughts. NIA head wants apology from the National Security Minister for remarks made about civil society and human rights groups. And in international news, Trump talks of his accomplishments and blasts foes in longest ever State of the Union address.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hanes Underwear. Cool, comfortable clothing all day long.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Outgoing chairman of CARICOM and the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, is calling for smart diplomacy and collective action to assist the Cuban people. Addressing the 50th regular meeting of Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Holness declared that the crisis rocking the Spanish-speaking country cannot be ignored. He warns that further deterioration in Cuba has the potential to spill over into CARICOM. Chevon Campbell tells us more.
The situation in Cuba continues to deteriorate. Shortages of energy, food, and other critical supplies is quickly spiraling into a major humanitarian crisis. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says CARICOM cannot turn a blind eye.
We must address the situation in Cuba with clarity and courage. Cuba is our Caribbean neighbor. Its doctors and teachers have served across our region. Its people are part of our shared history. But today, the Cuban people face severe economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian strain. Jamaica is sensitive to the struggles of the Cuban people. Humanitarian suffering serves no one.
An executive order by U.S. President Donald Trump has targeted any nation providing oil to Cuba with the threat of punitive measures. Several former CARICOM heads of government condemned the action as economic warfare, calling for the action to be rescinded. Rather than join in an outright condemnation, Dr. Holness called for cooler heads to prevail.
This movement, therefore, calls not for rhetoric, but for responsible statecraft, even as we encourage support for humanitarian relief. Jamaica supports constructive dialogue between Cuba and the United States aimed at de-escalation, reform, and stability. We believe there is space, perhaps more space now than in years past, for pragmatic engagement that protects the Cuban people from any further deterioration in their circumstances and instead promotes national and regional prosperity.
While warning that instability in Cuba has the potential to impact CARICOM, Dr. Holness appeared to criticize the country's governance arrangements.
It must be clear that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain confined to Cuba. It will affect migration, security, and economic stability across the Caribbean basin. It is therefore important that we carefully consider this matter and take collective action. Let there be no doubt, Jamaica stands firmly for democracy, human rights, political accountability, and open market-based economies. We do not believe that long-term stability can exist where economic freedom is constrained. Sustainable prosperity requires openness to ideas, to enterprise, to investment, and to the will of the people.
Mr. Holness says CARICOM can play a role in de-escalating the crisis. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And Prime Minister Holness says the varied political perspectives in CARICOM should not be seen as a sign of weakness or division. He reminded his audience that CARICOM is not a political union.
Our treaty does not mandate a singular foreign policy or a supranational authority. And because we are sovereign states, each accountable to our own electorates, we will at times assess risks differently, sequence priorities differently, or interpret geopolitical opportunities differently. That is not evidence of the weakness of our association. This is the natural expression of sovereign democracies navigating an increasingly turbulent global environment.
The regional bloc has faced significant criticism over what has been seen as a divided response to geopolitical issues. Trinidad and Tobago has broken with its counterparts on the capture by the United States of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro. But Dr. Holness says the diverse political views among CARICOM states is a source of strength, not weakness. He says this allows each regional partner to draw on the effective solutions developed in another's jurisdiction. The Prime Minister used Jamaica's own experience with crime as an example.
For decades, we have confronted levels of violence more severe and more persistent than elsewhere in the region. It has forced us to develop responses, legislative, operational, community-based, and technological, that may now offer lessons for sister states encountering emerging criminal threats. Our region's variability, therefore, is not an obstacle to integration. It is integration, practical, organic, and rooted in shared learning rather than a forced concept of uniformity. Still, even as sovereign states with sometimes differing priorities, there are core challenges such as regional security that binds us together and demand deeper cooperation.
That's Jamaica's Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, speaking in Basseterre, St. Kitts at the ongoing CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. The Ministry of Water has convened the first meeting of its Drought Management Committee for 2026 as the country braces for lower than normal levels of rainfall. In a statement on Tuesday, the ministry says it's assessing the country's water resources and the growing impact of reduced rainfall on national supply systems. Mahiri Stewart tells us more.
The committee, chaired by Water Minister Matthew Samuda, is a subcommittee of the Integrated Water Resource Management Council. It received technical reports from key water sector agencies detailing current storage levels, system performance, and emerging risks linked to below-average rainfall. The Meteorological Services branch reported that the early rainfall period, typically experienced between April and June, is projected to be significantly below normal. If those projections materialize, The officials warned that water storage levels will be critical to preventing a prolonged drought from severely affecting households, agriculture, and essential services. The National Water Commission cautioned that without a substantial increase in rainfall, water restrictions may become necessary in several areas. Particular concern was raised about the western region, where infrastructure remains compromised following the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Meanwhile, the National Irrigation Commission Limited highlighted mounting challenges in the eastern end of the island, especially within the Yalas Basin. In response, Minister Samuda directed Rural Water Supply Limited to implement a two-part emergency action plan. The first measure requires a comprehensive assessment of rural water supply systems in hurricane-affected communities to determine repair costs and identify infrastructure that can be rehabilitated quickly to provide immediate relief and strengthen drought resilience. The second directive orders an urgent audit of water storage capacity at critical institutions, including hospitals, schools, children's homes, homes for the elderly, and police stations, particularly those housing detainees. The minister is expected to submit a detailed report to Cabinet outlining further recommendations to strengthen national water security if below normal rainfall persists. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Mahiri. Principal Director of National Integrity Action, NIA, Dr. Gavin Mars, believes National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang should apologize for his recent comment accusing human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice of living off blood money. Dr. Mars was speaking on Nationwide at 5 on Tuesday with Ricardo Brooks.
Should Dr. Chang apologize?
Dr. Chang should know what he has said. Dr. Chang should know what he has said is not in good faith, and he should do the right thing.
And what is that?
He should apologize. He should accept that whatever was happening, it was out of sync and out of place.
In an interview on Nationwide this morning on Monday, Dr. Chang argued that the constant broadsides against the police by civil society groups was selfish and unfair. He name-dropped JFJ, accusing them of living off blood money. Later that day, JFJ responded, describing Dr. Chang's comments as unfortunate, untrue, and inflammatory. The group noted they would be seeking legal advice on the matter. Dr. Mars says the minister's words are an attack on civil society's right to comment on public issues.
I am still confused as to, one, where it is coming from, and two, what is the aim of it. I think the commentary was unfortunate. We're losing the plot. If we're building Jamaica together and we're all citizens of Jamaica, we all have a constitutional right to both seek information, to share information, and to speak up on things. So anyone who is saying that doing that is dangerous, I'm questioning what is it dangerous to? And whom is it that is asking for it to be dangerous? So I'm really confused.
Dr. Gavin Mars, Principal Director of NIA. Another suspect in last Saturday's fatal triple shooting in Denham Town, West Kingston, has turned himself in. He's 33-year-old Dwayne Bowen, otherwise known as Juby, of Guys Hill District in St. Catherine. Bowen turned himself in to the Hunts Bay Police on Tuesday afternoon. Another suspect remains at large. That's Joseph Kenneth Smith, otherwise called Beanie Bud. On Monday, another suspect, 33-year-old Chef Decomi Mahoney, otherwise called Romy, surrendered to the police. The deadly shooting claimed the life of 3-year-old Jace Pinnock on Saturday. His father, 31-year-old Kerry Pinnock, otherwise called Boise, succumbed to his injuries on Monday. Jace's 8-year-old brother remains in hospital. It's theorized the fatal shooting may be linked to gang activity. 2 of the wanted men are allegedly members of the Street Corner Gang. To the courts now, because tense back and forth exchanges between the defense and the prosecutors over hearsay and admissibility of evidence were the highlight of Tuesday's proceedings in the ongoing Klansman gang trial in the Supreme Court. The exchanges occurred during the cross-examination of a senior policeman. The policeman testified in relation to count 18 on the 32-count indictment, a charge of shooting with intent. Robian Williams was there.
The policeman told the court that on February 27, 2020, about 11:20 p.m., while on duty at the CIB office in Portmore, a policeman visited the station and made a report to him about his home being invaded by 2 men. He said he started investigations and traveled in a service vehicle behind the complainant to his home where the alleged incident occurred. On arrival, he said he observed 2 or 3 spent casings near the perimeter wall of the house. He also saw spent casings within the perimeter of the house but could not recall whether they were inside or outside. He said he contacted the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, and scenes of crime personnel to process the scene. The spent casings were photographed, removed by INDECOM, sealed in the presence of members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and handed over to scenes of crime. The heated exchanges arose during cross-examination by defense attorney Paul Gentles, who pressed the policeman about the type and color of the vehicle the gunmen allegedly used to escape. Prosecutors objected, arguing that any such evidence would amount to hearsay, as the information would have been told to the investigator by someone else. Gentles then attempted to question the witness about notes allegedly made in the station diary regarding his observations and information received. The Crown objected again, stating that the station diary was not in evidence. Gentles asked a question, but before the witness could answer, counsel gave out, "Wait, the Crown is about to object." When the prosecutor didn't object, Gentles beckoned to the witness to answer. Gentles asked a similar question and again humorously said, "Wait, before you answer, the Crown is getting ready to object." This time the Crown did object, stating again for the record that the question was eliciting hearsay evidence and counsel Gentles ought to know better. Defense attorneys were seen huddling in court in an effort to determine how to obtain the information. Gentles suggested that the station diary be agreed upon and submitted into evidence, but the Crown rejected the proposal. After further objections and arguments lasting more than 15 minutes, the judge upheld the prosecution's position. When the witness resumed, Gentles asked whether he had been looking for two men as part of his investigation. The policeman responded, yes. He also said he was looking for a white Nissan Tida motor car based on information received, prompting another objection from the Crown on hearsay grounds. The policeman confirmed that he interviewed other witnesses apart from the policeman involved. In re-examination, he clarified that he was referring to persons within the household where the incident occurred. Defendants Sharon Gilzine and Michael Wildman are charged with shooting with intent in relation to the incident. The trial resumes on Wednesday morning. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Robian. Member of Parliament for West Kingston Desmond McKenzie says those constituents who continue to steal electricity will not be allowed to force the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, into denying bill-paying customers access to streetlights in their communities.
Since I came on Saturday, we have started a number of initiatives here in Denham Town, in this area. If you notice, JPS was here all day yesterday, cutting down the trees that were hanging across the area, putting up, reinstalling street lights. But let me say this, there are a number of street lights that are affected because of illegal connection. I am making it clear, I am not going to allow illegal connection to prevent the wider community from having proper street lights.
Minister McKenzie says there will be a clean-up of the wider Denham Town area.
The other thing that we are doing is that we are cleaning up Denham Town again. Some of the areas have old cars that they used to block roads. There is no more demilitarized zone in Denham Town anymore. So the police and the army and the team is going to do everything to restore law and order. We have been doing fine. We were doing well up to last year. But some things change.
Desmond McKenzie, MP for West Kingston. Minister McKenzie was speaking during a visit to Edward Siaga Infant School on Monday, where he offered support to students and the staff impacted by the murder of 3-year-old student Jace Pinnock. Overseas news now. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed his first year back in the White House as he delivered the longest ever State of the Union address. In a speech lasting 1 hour and 47 minutes, Trump repeatedly pushed his economic agenda, saying he had overseen a, quote, turnaround for the ages, end quote.
Tonight, after just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages. Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared. Our military and police are stacked. And America is respected again, perhaps like never before.
On Iran, Trump said his preference was to solve this problem through diplomacy, but warned the country against pursuing a nuclear weapons program. Turning his attention to tariffs, the U.S. president, after briefly shaking hands with several Supreme Court justices, went on to call their recent tariffs ruling very unfortunate. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hanes Underwear. Cool, comfortable clothing all day long.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:19.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GeoLand Title Limited is the place to be. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates, first-time registration, land surveys included, affordable rates and flexible payment options, National Land Agency adjudication and land titling waivers available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. GeoLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Morning after morning, you've made Nationwide 90 FM part of your routine. So let's take this connection one step closer. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club and be part of it officially on Patreon.
Family. Unlock winnings, unlock value, unlock postpaid with Digicel. Sign up for your postpaid plan now, win $1 million. When you sign up and unlock postpaid with Digicel, you can win up to $1 million and more. Just sign up or switch to postpaid, upgrade or activate an add-on in the My Digicel app. Pay your bill in full on time and you can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max every week. A bill write-off up to $10 grand, a grand prize of $1 million. Unlock winnings with Digicel. Better connected.
Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6 to April 4.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning again, Sir George, and listeners, motoring public, all our transport operators, stakeholders, and our visitors. Remember, I always remember the visitors. The situation along in the Kingston area is in respect of Shortwood Road, Grandstand, and going around to Barbican Road. There is traffic along Grandstand Road, and it takes you out to Barbican Road now. And you're on Barbican Road, you're going to notice traffic coming from Acadia Drive, Russellite, and also Birdsucker Lane. These are the roads that the Birdsucker Lane takes up into the Cherry Gardens area. Likewise with Russellite, but they're bringing traffic to Barbican Road, and when you go around Barbican Road to Barbican Square, you're going to also notice traffic in the East Kings House Road area. Some of the motorists are making it further around to Barbican and Whitcomb Road, and some is making it onto Ligonier Avenue, where there's some traffic there on Ligonier Avenue, and then around Barbican Road to connect with Old Hope Road and Hope Road, and going across towards Old Hope Road. That vicinity is always busy at this time. And remember, there's a lot of movement in the vicinity of the embassy there. And coming further up in the Papine area, coming down Old Hope Road, you'll also notice traffic. There's traffic along Mona Road. Mona Road onto Wellington Drive, onto Monroe Road. Those are areas that are carrying traffic at this time. So it's quite a busy morning in that area. Ligonier Avenue, Kingston 8 and also Kingston 6 area. So there you go. And remember, motorists, there's the traffic in many other areas. The intersections are very busy at this time. And by the way, the traffic intersection nearby, what's its name now? Grenada Crescent and not so good as what has been out for a few days. So sometimes in the evenings, the police are there to try and supervise vehicular flow. All right? Grenada Crescent and Knutsford Boulevard. It's over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smart. So, and the traffic is building. I'm looking at Barbican Road. Well, we are looking at Barbican Road, heading in the direction, heading east towards which road that now, King? towards Barbican Road, to take you down into Ligani. Yes, it's heading that way, and it is heavy. And even the traffic going in the opposite direction, going towards Russell Heights, trying to get to Grand Spin and getting out, heavy. Show me halfway through before we go, because I can imagine what it's like now at 7:23. So he's going to switch cameras, and we're going to see what's happening in Halfway Tree Square right at so here we go. All right, well, the stoplight, this light is moving. Oh, they're on green, so they're moving now. But yeah, it is heavy right across the corporate area is what Ludlow is saying. So if you're not on your way, you might be in a bit of a bind if you have to get there by 8 o'clock or maybe even 8:30, given how the traffic flow is. Anyway, front page, up now. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to our discussion segment, The Front Page. Now, Caribbean leaders opened a 4-day summit in St. Kitts and Nevis amid mounting regional tensions and fragmentation, pressure from the United States, and a changing global landscape. At the heart of the gathering of the 15-member Caribbean community known as CARICOM are questions about the relevance and value of the region's decades-old integration movement. The bloc is facing pressure from Washington to accept asylum seekers rejected by the U.S., sever ties with Cuba, and align more closely with American foreign policy, demands that have exposed divisions among member states. For more, we're being joined by Caribbean correspondent at the Miami Herald, Jacqueline Charles. Jacqueline, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us here again on Nationwide this morning. Now, you were at yesterday's opening. What was the mood in the room?
Well, I would say that the mood was very festive. I mean, here in St. Kitts, they put on a beautiful show, display of Caribbean culture. We had drums, we had dancing, we had singing. And, of course, we had the CARICOM leaders. I mean, every member of CARICOM was represented here by their prime minister, premier, or head of state.
And I was watching the presentations given by some of the prime ministers, and I made note of the reaction after Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bissessar was finished speaking, and many of the prime ministers sitting up front, they didn't clap. Were you able to speak with any of the regional leaders and get their reaction to her presentation?
It's interesting you should mention that because, you know, as it is last night after the event, this was the chatter, you know, that only a handful, maybe four, actually clapped. Mm-hmm. So far, they're being very tight-lipped. Right? You know, one of them, the former prime minister, says we're just calling it theater. But you're right. When, you know, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, when she spoke, and basically, on the one hand, saying, you know, we're reaffirming our support, but then she decided to call out CARICOM and sort of air out her grievances. That didn't necessarily go over too well. I think that is a discussion they would rather have had behind closed doors rather than an opening ceremony. But let me just say that Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who started the conversations, and he actually, you know, talked about the fact that, yes, we are a group of associations, but it doesn't mean that we always have to think alike or act alike. first and foremost, we are responsible to our electorate. So he sort of opened the door for her in terms of her position. But yeah, she kind of pushed it a little bit too far for some of these leaders.
I know you spoke about energy in the room, Jacqueline, and good morning once again. But this gathering of heads of government was billed as perhaps the most important in the modern history of CARICOM. Did it feel that way to you? Did it have that difference in edge to you?
Actually, no. I have to tell you, a number of these leaders are going to be leaving today and tomorrow. They're not even going to stay here for the full 4 days. I mean, last night, Prasad Bhattacharya said she's leaving today. I think there's a bilateral, with Rubio. I've heard other leaders are also going to be leaving. I mean, really, whether they stand up to that billing is going to be what happens at the end of the day when we talk to them about, well, what did you bring up with Secretary of State Rubio? Did you get the United States to change their position on a couple of issues? Did you get them to understand your position in regards to Cuba? And let me just say something with Cuba very quickly. We couldn't get any clarity from these leaders with Cuba. I think that was the thing last night. They were kind of all over the board. The only place that you saw there was firm agreement, which contradicts the U.S. position is on the issue of climate change, because we know the U.S. has been pulling away from that. But with and of course we'll say Haiti in terms of the gang suppression force, and that country's prime minister is here. But everything else, we were struggling to figure out, well, what exactly is your position? And that so far lacks clarity.
Yeah, and I know, Jacqueline, how these events go, and an experienced eye like the peer you have, you'd be looking for the sideline interactions, which leaders appear to be engaging in the most intense discussions, or which group of delegates from which countries would be having those sideline discussions or having those chit-chats on the sideline of the main show. What did you see?
Well, last night we saw Barbados and Guyana engaged in very friendly conversations. And then later Trinidad came and joined them. In fact, I ended up leaving because they were there till the wee hours of the morning, probably wait till 2 a.m. So that was good to see these three countries engaged in a very friendly discussion and talking about their own perspectives and challenges that they have. We'll be looking today to see how does Antigua and Trinidad, do they have a side conversation? Because remember December and the friction that erupted there, with them. A lot of people want to talk to Haiti. They want to talk to the Prime Minister. This is his first CARICOM meeting. They want to hear for themselves what's happening. He's got a couple of bilaterals this morning. And, of course, with Rubio. I mean, we want to know. We all know privately how they feel on some of these issues, like the third-party agreement having to take asylum seekers rejected out of the U.S. into Caribbean territories where we have shut the doors on each other. Remember, we are in St. Kitts, where their Prime Minister just last month said, hey, we signed this agreement, but we said no Haitians. But we want to know how frank of a discussion they have with Secretary Rubio.
Yeah, and was there any leader, Jacqueline, from what you observed, who commanded the room more than all others, more than any other?
No, I have to tell you, last night the mood was really more festive. I mean, this celebration started about 4:30, finished about maybe 8 o'clock. It was a very long day. And then they went to a reception, and then they just sort of scattered, just playing catch up. I think today we will have more of a sense of where we stand and where they stand in terms of their angst and their concerns.
Excellent. Thank you this morning for your time, Jacqueline. Always enjoy reading your work in the Miami Herald, and good to hear from you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
That's the Caribbean correspondent at Miami Herald, Jacqueline Charles. She's in Basseterre in St. Kitts, or Nevis, where they're having the Caribbean Community Heads of Government meeting, and it's hosted by Dr. Terence Drew. He's the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, a man who spent a lot of time in Jamaica, a student at the UWI, and who I think when he won the election, his first interview, very first interview with media outside of his country was with me when I was with Scene TV, Sportsback Scene TV. Yeah, we had him live, and I did read that he was a US student, but when he told me about how immersed he was and where he went in Jamaica, and man moved like a yardie.
Yeah, he was the last presentation yesterday, and Prime Minister Holness, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and Dr. Drew, they all spoke to the matter of Cuba. But as Jacqueline pointed out there, everybody's keen to hear practically how Caribbean leaders are going to treat with the humanitarian situation in Cuba and what they're taking to the table when they speak with the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to address that.
By the way, there's an interview on Nationwide today. Let me tell you. Let me just, before we go to the break, King, just bear with me. Let me find it. There's an interview that we are lining up for about 3 p.m. today. Ricardo Brooks will be doing that interview with the deputy spokesperson at the U.S. Department of State, Mignon Houston. We'll be talking about Secretary Rubio's visit to the region and, of course, what he's likely to put on the table at that meeting of the CARICOM heads of government in St. Kitts and Nevis. So, Deputy Spokesperson for the U.S. Department of State, Mignon Houston, on Nationwide this afternoon at 3 p.m. for an interview. Ricardo will be sitting with him and ensure that you listen to that. You could get some insight into what Secretary Rubio is preparing to say to Caribbean leaders about the U.S.'s position on Cuba and what that position can allow regional governments to do to help our brothers and sisters in that country.
Yeah. We take a break now and come back with more here on NTM.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, while we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace is
7:34.
You may have been hearing the teasers. Now it's official. Beginning Monday, February 9, 2026, Nationwide News Network launches something special. The Nationwide Family Club, exclusively on Patreon.
With the Family Club, members get early access to our documentaries before anyone else. Some of your favorite segments, including Cliff Says, What's on My Mind, Cover Story, and others, will now be a click away inside the Family Club. There are 3 tiers of membership. First, Bronze, the Family Insider, behind-the-scenes access, Monday motivational videos, members-only chats, and on-air birthdays and anniversary shoutouts.
Second, Silver, Nationwide VIP. Breaking news alerts, exclusive documentaries, quizzes, personal milestones celebrated on air, and weekly family roll call mentions. Oh, and for our biggest supporters,
the Gold category, Elite Listener, full archive access, early releases, private studio tours, live show experiences, personalized birthday videos, and exclusive live streams. From historic election coverage to lifetime, impact, Jamaican milestones, and rare archive content. This is Nationwide like you've never seen it before. The Nationwide Family Club, coming to you February 9, 2026 on Patreon.
Join the family, support Nationwide 90 FM, the station that informs, entertains, and educates. Visit patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. That's patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You've stood with us through every headline and every difficult moment. The Family Club is how we keep this going strong. Together, join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club now on Patreon.
Unlock winnings, unlock value, Unlock postpaid with Digicel. Sign up for your postpaid plan now, win $1 million. When you sign up and unlock postpaid with Digicel, you can win up to $1 million and more. Just sign up or switch to postpaid, upgrade or activate an add-on in the My Digicel app. Pay your bill in full on time and you can win an iPhone 17 Pro Max every week. A bill write-off up to 10 grand. A grand prize of $1 million. Unlock winnings with Digicel. Better connected.
Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Conditions apply. Promotion valid from February 6 to April 4.
The outgoing chairman of CARICOM and the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, is calling for smart diplomacy and collective action to support the people of Cuba. This in his address to the 50th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in St. Kitts and Nevis, where Dr. Holness said the crisis affecting the Spanish-speaking country cannot be ignored.
During our tenure as chair, Jamaica placed significant emphasis on regional security. We strengthened collaboration with CARICOM Impacts, deepened engagement with Interpol, and advanced coordinated efforts on border management and intelligence sharing. On Haiti, we reaffirmed that CARICOM has a critical role in supporting the political, humanitarian, and security pillars of the recovery. Jamaica remains fully committed to the work of the UN Security Council, endorsed Gang Suppression Force, the Standing Group of Partners, the Eminent Persons Group, and the OAS in supporting a coherent and sequenced pathway towards stability. Friends, we must address the situation in Cuba with clarity and courage. Cuba is our Caribbean neighbor. Its doctors and teachers have served across our region. Its people are part of our shared history. But today, the Cuban people face severe economic hardship, energy shortages, and growing humanitarian strain. Jamaica is sensitive to the struggles of the Cuban people. Humanitarian suffering serves no one. Apart from our fraternal care and solidarity with the Cuban people, it must be clear that a prolonged crisis in Cuba will not remain confined to Cuba. It will affect migration, security, and economic stability across the Caribbean basin. It is therefore important that we carefully consider this matter and take collective action. Let there be no doubt, Jamaica stands firmly for democracy, human rights, political accountability, and open market-based economies. We do not believe that long-term stability can exist where economic freedom is constrained and political participation is limited. Sustainable prosperity requires openness to ideas, to enterprise, to investment, and to the will of the people. This moment, therefore, calls not for rhetoric, but for responsible statecraft, even as we encourage support for humanitarian relief. Jamaica supports constructive dialogue between Cuba and the United States aimed at de-escalation, reform, and stability. We believe there is space, perhaps more space now than in years past, for pragmatic engagement that protects the Cuban people from any further deterioration in their circumstances and instead promotes national and regional prosperity. Friends, colleagues, as it has been said, the geopolitical environment is shifting. Maybe it has already shifted. This may well be a moment of opportunity, a moment for transition, for recalibration, for a new chapter. CARICOM can play a constructive role, not as an ideological bloc, but as a community of democratic states offering cooperation, economic reform, and social development. This is not a moment for division in our community. It is a moment for maturity, for principled realism, and if we act wisely, for positive change in our hemisphere.
Prime Minister Holness also noted that the varied political perspectives in CARICOM should not be seen as a sign of weakness or division.
For decades, an idealized narrative around Caribbean integration, while well-intentioned, has framed perhaps unrealistic expectations within our respective populations. It has also, perhaps unintentionally, diminished the genuine strengths of our existing arrangement. An association of independent states bound not by uniformity, but by shared purpose, mutual regard, and a deep history of collaboration. CARICOM is not, and has never claimed to be, a political union. Our treaty does not mandate a singular foreign policy or a supranational authority. And because we are sovereign states, each accountable to our own electorates, we will at times assess risks differently, sequence priorities differently, or interpret geopolitical opportunities differently. That is not evidence of the weakness of our association. This is the natural expression of sovereign democracies navigating an increasingly turbulent global environment. Too often, differences in national perspectives are portrayed as fractures, threatening the regional project. I submit that they are nothing of the sort. While there are undoubtedly circumstances where one voice has and will work for us to great effect globally, variations in national perspectives is not a liability to be feared. It is a resource to be harnessed. The measure of our integration should therefore not be uniformity of position, but effectiveness of cooperation. Indeed, our diversity of economies, political traditions, development strategies, and governance approaches is one of CARICOM's most underappreciated strengths. Each member state functions as its own laboratory of democracy, able to test policy innovations that others can study, refine, and adapt. This is not divergence. It is distributed regional problem solving. I offer Jamaica's approach to security as the first example. For decades, we have confronted levels of violence more severe and more persistent than elsewhere in the region. It has forced us to develop responses, legislative, operational, community-based, and technological, that may now offer lessons for sister states encountering emerging criminal threats. Our region's variability, therefore, is not an obstacle to integration. It is integration, practical, organic, and rooted in shared learning rather than a forced concept of uniformity. Still, even as sovereign states with sometimes differing priorities, there are core challenges such as regional security that binds us together and demand deeper cooperation. Organized criminal networks are increasingly sophisticated, technologically enabled, better armed, and not constrained by national boundaries. This week's events in Mexico exemplify that. Left unchecked, such networks can grow powerful and brazen enough to challenge the state itself. The Montego Bay Declaration on Transnational Organized Crime and Gangs, adopted during Jamaica's chairmanship, marked an important step in establishing a unified regional stance. This work must continue through intelligence sharing, joint operations, interoperable border management systems, and stronger alignment with regional and international partners. There is also the closely related matter of territorial integrity. As small states with vast maritime spaces and strategically important geographies, we each face pressures, external claims, illicit incursions, and evolving geopolitical interests that can challenge the sanctity of our borders. While our approaches may differ, our commitment to the principle is shared. Every member of CARICOM has the right to decide how best to defend its territory and maritime domain, and it is reasonable for them to expect the solidarity of every member state to that end.
That's Dr. Andrew Holness, Jamaica's Prime Minister, speaking at the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting underway in Basseterre, the capital of St. Kitts Nevis. After the break, we'll hear from the woman whose comments, her speech caused a stir given her stridency, the unrepentant TNT Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
7:50.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is
23 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GLand Title Limited is the place to be. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates, first-time registration, land surveys included, affordable rates and flexible payment options, National Land Agency adjudication and land titling waivers available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at glandonline.com. GLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
From the biggest trucks to the biggest energy, Nationwide keeps it moving. If you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, if a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Practice. God me say you watch you off me practice.
Welcome back, Tona. I think it's quite in order for you to talk about the lead-in to the ladies' presentation.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says while TNT remained vested in the regional bloc, her country would no longer bind itself to the region's political ideologies, foreign policy positions, or security frameworks.
We respect the sovereign right of CARICOM members with respect to your choice for national security for your nation and respect to your choice for foreign policy. We respect that sovereignty, and we expect no less from others. We took very careful note of what happened in the CARICOM in 2025 when my government chose to lend support then to the Nicolas Maduro regime And despite repeated threats against 2 fellow CARICOM members from Venezuela, most of the CARICOM stood against the 2. Only 2 were threatened. One was Guyana, still under threat. I openly said that if they touch Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago will be there with you and stand with you. And the other was Trinidad and Tobago. We are threatened, and we are still threatened by Venezuela. I'll say a little more about that in a moment. So how could the CARICOM be a zone of peace when a narco-dictator who imprisoned and killed thousands of civilians and opposition members, you will see recently over 300 persons from the opposition in Venezuela have been released. They were in prison because of politics. So how can it be when that regime was threatening violence to 2 CARICOM member states, there was no voice from the CARICOM? We were talking about a zone of peace. And in my respectful view, my country is not a zone of peace, and I'll tell you why. Because of the unreliability of the CARICOM in the above situation, TNT Guyana, we cannot bind ourselves to the same political ideologies, the same foreign issues, and the same security policies of the entire CARICOM. That's why I welcome Prime Minister Alder's words, that we have each our own pathway to walk, depending on what is happening in our country. And so, my friends, I say, going forward, we will work with the CARICOM. We were invested in the CARICOM. We've been there from day one, and we want to be there after the end and the beginning and in the end. We want to be there with the CARICOM. It's very vital. I'm a CARICOM child, you know. I lived in Jamaica, as you know, Prime Minister. I studied in Jamaica 14 years. I studied there. I lectured at the university in Jamaica. I lived in Barbados. My child was born in Barbados. My son is Bajan. Recently, he was trying to apply to UE to get into UA Law School. And when he took his Bajan passport, they said, no. You have to come and bring a TT ID card. Sounds like a joking matter, but a serious matter. May you know that. My son was born in Barbados, and of course Trinidad. So I've had that experience of living and working, Jamaica, Barbados, and of course my own country, Trinidad and Tobago. So we will want to have our own foreign issues, policies, defend our sovereignty as we see best. And so I come to the elephant that might be in the room. I come to the USA and the cooperation that we had with the USA. Thanks to President Trump, thanks to Secretary Rubio and the US military, I say thank you today for standing firm against narco trafficking, human and arms smuggling originating from Venezuela. That is what we were facing in Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe some of you other islands in the Caribbean, your nations do not have that level of illegal migration and, of course, the crime. So in 2024, crime was being treated as a public health gimmick. It was dubbed a public health issue. It's not a public health issue. Because of the crime, you're not alive to get any public health. You're dead. That's what the crime is like. So don't talk to me about a zone of peace when I will tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, 1.4 million people. We recorded 623 murders in 1 year, in 2024. And 40% of those murders, they were gang-related, driven by narcotics, by firearms from smuggling from Venezuela, and gangs coming out of Venezuela and mingling and mixing with gangs in Trinidad. In 2025, change of government, change of policy to treat with the drug cartels and the gangs as violent terrorist organizations. The military action by the American military in the Caribbean caused, you know what happened in our country? Caused our murder rate to decrease by 42%. You know what that meant? There were 257 less murders in TNT. I can say thanks again to President Trump. And thanks again to Secretary Rubio, Marco Rubio. I thank them and the US military for the cooperation and what they shared with us for national security matters. Maybe in your islands you don't have the kind of crime we have. I know Prime Minister Hostel, as we tried to pass the Oswald bill in Trinidad, we were not as fortunate as you in the Parliament, but I know you have done well with your murder rate. So some of us, the crime is so bad. I cannot depend on just my military, my protective services, and certainly from you in the CARICOM, many of you do not have military or large police services to help us down there. So again, I repeat, you know, Trinidadians are saying, who vexed lost? But we gained from the help, I'm saying, that military help, and I will welcome them again. So we changed the policy, and we were able to bring those murders down by 42%. As I say, that's 257 less people who would have been dead had we not taken that course of action. So let me finally take this opportunity to sympathize with the government and people of Mexico, as Prime Minister Holness mentioned, with regards to the cartel fuel mass violence happening there. That could have been Trinidad and Tobago if we did not take the action we did. To partner with the U.S. is not to undermine the Caribbean region, but to defend it. TNT will continue to cooperate with the U.S. in the best interests of our citizens to drive destabilizing and destructive forces out of our country, out of our region, and out of our hemisphere.
TNT's Prime Minister, Kamla Prasad-Dessessor, laying it out. And she's saying, look, where self-interest is concerned, the self-interest of my country, she's saying she backs the decisions that have been made. Where alignment is concerned on critical issues, she's saying effectively, where security is concerned, CARICOM can't do for me and for TNT what the United States can do, is effectively what she's saying. You can either agree or disagree, but that's how she sees it. And that's the front page. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8 o'clock.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Wednesday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security says it will continue disbursing payments to approved beneficiaries under the ROOFS program this week. In a statement on Tuesday, the ministry informed that handover ceremonies are scheduled in Hanover, St. James and St. Anne between February 25 and 27, 2026. The payments form part of the government's ongoing recovery response to households affected by Hurricane Melissa. ROOFS provides cash grants to assist with the restoration of owner-occupied family dwellings based on verified damage assessments. Grant support is aligned to the level of damage, with $500,000 being disbursed for severe or total loss. The government is paying out cash grants of $200,000 for major or significant structural damage and $75,000 for minor damage. Disbursements began on January 30, 2026. As at February 23, 2026, 7,861 beneficiaries have received approximately $2 billion in assistance. The government has allocated an initial $10 billion to support the program's implementation and ensure timely assistance to affected households. The National Identification and Registration Authority, NIRA, is moving to rapidly expand national identification enrollment services across the country. Executive Director Dr. Warren Vernon made the disclosure during recent meeting at the Office of the Prime Minister. He disclosed that the policy target for the coming financial year will be to expand enrollment nationwide, improve participation numbers, and strengthen partnerships with government and private sector entities. Dr. Vernon also disclosed that an online portal is now available, allowing Jamaicans to complete their enrollment for the National Identification Card. Finally, across Jamaica, the National Fisheries Authority, NFA, is urging fishers not to fish for sea cucumbers during the close season, which runs from March 1, 2026 to August 31, 2026. Persons caught in possession of fishing for selling sea cucumbers during the closed period can be fined up to $3 million or face imprisonment for up to 2 years. Sea cucumbers are related to sea urchins and starfish that live on the ocean floor in various marine environments from shallow waters to depths of 100 meters. A statement from the NFA said commercial interest in sea cucumbers is increasing. The NFA says Jamaica has experienced increased interest from both locals and foreigners seeking to harvest sea cucumbers for Asian export markets. It says the Caribbean region, including Jamaica, contributes a small but significant production from both formal and informal trade channels. The authority says, part of efforts to safeguard and ensure the sustainability of the sector, the authority has implemented the closed season to facilitate the restoration of the sea cucumber population. It says cucumbers or sea cucumbers play a crucial ecological role, including mixing sediment or recycling organic materials and serving as prey for other species. They typically inhabit sandy areas mixed with seagrasses, corals, and other habitat types. The NFA is a statutory body established by the Fisheries Act 2018 with the responsibility for the management, development, and conservation of fisheries. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Wednesday morning.
Super Center, everything for your home and more.
Get ready, because we're having 3 days of deals. Visit us in Crossroads from this Thursday to Saturday for incredible savings on your favorite items. Need a gift for someone? It's the perfect time. Or sprucing up your space? Now's your chance. Put fun in your shopping with 3 days of deals. So don't wait, or these savings may pass you by.
As in Super Center, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
The youth them have a voice here, and it matters. The Family Club helps us to keep giving young people the mic. If you believe in that, join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Hey yo, me is a youth, no in a hurry.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Tune in to Cliffviews Online, hosted by George Davis, right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Wednesday, February 25, as we broadcast live from the Jamaica Pegasus, where Regency Petroleum Limited is officially launching QPR Pothole Filler, an innovative asphalt repair product designed to provide permanent solutions to Jamaicans' persistent road maintenance challenges. We all know potholes are a daily frustration, draining public resources and damaging vehicles across the island. QPR changes that story. It's the #1 asphalt repair product in the USA, now available in Jamaica. With ministerial endorsement, QPR aligns with government priorities for safer, more efficient infrastructure while supporting a proudly Jamaican-owned company leading innovation in the energy and construction sectors. So tune in to Cliffviews Online, Wednesday, February 25 with George Davis, live from the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel for the official launch of QPR Pothole Filler. This broadcast is brought to you by Regency Petroleum Limited, fueling growth, building Jamaica.
Fit Nation is brought to you by Express Fitness 24/7. Your goal is our mission.
You wanna hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work. You want a Lamborghini? Sip martinis, look hot in a bikini. You better work. You wanna live fancy, live in a big mansion, party in France. You better work. You better work. You better work. You better work. Now get to work. Now get to work. Here comes the big beat. Big beat to blast y'all. No time to quit now. Just time to get it now. Pick up what I'm putting down. Pick up what I'm putting down. You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work. You want a Lamborghini? Sip martinis. Look hot in a bikini. You better work. You wanna live fancy? Live in a big mansion. Party in France? You better work. You better work. You better work. You better work. Now get to work.
That time of a Wednesday morning, it's time for Fit Nation. In Fit Nation this morning, focusing on bouncing back after an injury. So returning from an injury requires a patient, gradual approach to avoid re-injury, focusing on rebuilding mobility and strength rather than returning to peak performance immediately. Now, fitness guru and principal CEO of Yasa Fitness Limited, Shani McGraham, surely knows all too well about this. Recently, she had an injury for which she had to do a surgery. The journey back was difficult, but she is back. And Shani joins us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are all of you feeling?
We're doing good. How are you?
I am well. I'm blessed and highly favored.
All right, wonderful.
I'm giving thanks that this hip is behaving itself.
I remember seeing those videos on Instagram because you did document that journey of the surgery and the recovery process. And Shani, this morning, I want you to talk to our listeners about your injury, the surgery, and the road to recovery.
Okay. So to give people context, it was last year, May. I was traveling, actually went to Greece with my husband, and we went to the first Olympic Stadium. What you would have done at the Olympic Stadium if you go? You're not going to try to do a little run.
Perhaps,
so
yes.
he and I pretended to race. It didn't go so well for me. I tripped on my own pants, and I did boom, flick, and fall. I dropped Kinpupalik and completely flipped over. I thought, okay, this pain is severe in the moment. I didn't realize, to be honest with you, how much damage happened in that one Kinpupalik. I dislocated my hip. The hip actually popped out and popped back in. Same time, I fractured my hip socket. I tore up all the cartilage in my hip, and I chipped off some of the cartilage in my hip.
Wow.
What us women do when we get an injury, we pop painkillers and we keep it moving. So I really didn't realize just how bad damage was. I'm so accustomed to functioning in pain, which is a problem I find a lot of women do. We know how to keep it moving, take painkillers, and kind of put our pain on the back burner. But the first thing I want listeners to realize, pain is an indication that something is not right. So that is the first thing. We need to learn to listen to our bodies sometimes. So I teach in my classes.
Shani?
I kept moving.
If you could repeat, we lost you there for a second.
I came back to Jamaica and I kept it moving despite all the pain. And I really should have listened to my body sooner, but I didn't. But the one good thing I will say, because my body was so fit and I was so strong before, the strength of my body pulled that hip back in place, and the strength of my body compensated and was allowing me to keep moving. When I decided to go and get it checked out, and I did the MRI, and the doctors told me, this don't look good, Shani. You need to have surgery. This needs to be corrected. I had to make that very challenging decision. When I did the surgery October 2nd, so this is just 4.5 months ago.
Yes.
I had to be immobile for almost 2 months. I was on crutches. I was in a hip brace. The surgery itself lasted 5 hours. So this is major hip surgery.
That is major.
Major hip surgery for 5 hours for them to repair everything that was in my hip. I even had to get donor cartilage because I did chip out some of that cartilage and they had to put it back. With that being said, I had to operate from a place of grace because for anybody who goes through an injury, you feel frustrated, you feel stuck, you feel, woe me, why did this have to happen to me?
Yeah.
And I had to get quiet. I had to get quiet and respect my body and listen to my body. Recovery is not easy, but it's not a death sentence. At some point in time, we all go through some kind of injury that we have to recover from. And you have to respect this body. It's the only body that we have. We need to give it time. We need to be patient. We need to, because what we don't realize, if you go back to your fitness regime too quickly, you're going to undo. Yeah, it's going to be damaging. You can undo the recovery process. You would have to repeat the same surgery. That, one, isn't cheap. Two, can cause more damage. So you have to listen to your body. And just like as a baby have to crawl first before they can walk, you have to go through that process of starting small, starting gradual, being patient, and respecting this body. Now, I told my surgeon I have a goal. My goal is every year I have my Fit Fire Soca series coming up. The doctor said to me, it doesn't really look that realistic that you can be ready in 5 months to be on stage. But we're going to try. We're going to try. So that was my goal, that my Soca series is going to be coming up in March. It's actually next month. And I knew I needed my body safe. I needed that hip stable. So I could stand on that stage and I can lead that group of people that come to my Fit Fire Soca series. So in my head, that was my, we always have a goal. We have a benchmark and say, now I have to get back to that.
Yeah.
So that was what was my motivation. Different things are a motivation. For me, being on stage and being able to power through my 90-minute Fit Fire Soca series safely, because safety is always first. And I'm not going to put myself in harm's way, but every day I would push a little bit more, following my physio's guidance, following what felt right for my body. And God has been good to me. In 4 months, I've exceeded surgeons' expectations, doctors' expectations, and my physio's expectations by honoring my body and listening and doing it in small increments.
Shani and or YouTubers are glued in to what you're saying. You can say if this is a bit too personal, but somebody is asking, I don't know if this person experienced what you experienced or has somebody who is going through something similar, but Stronglink is asking, what about the constipation after surgery? And Stronglink says it's terrible.
Listen to me. That thing is so true that nobody speaks about. First of all, once you go under any anesthetic, it slows down your entire bowel movement. Forget about the painkillers they put you on. Just going through anesthesia, it slows your system down. Then they give you very strong painkillers. They gave me oxycodone as the painkiller because hip surgery, they actually had to dislocate my hip again before going in to do the surgery. I came off of the very strong painkillers in 2 days because I said I could not take the constipation anymore. I was constipated. Yes, it might be TMI for some of the listeners, but guess what? Might as well hear it and know what to expect. 7 days before I could have a bowel movement. 7 days. I went on multiple laxatives. I was drinking prune juice, eating prunes. It was horrible. So exactly what they're saying to you, it's true. So I chose to come off of the very strong painkillers, and I was able to manage on Tylenol because I really needed to get back my bowel movements.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to other people who said the constipation is worse than the pain itself from surgery.
Wow.
And then also, when you go through surgery, being immobile also slows down your bowel movements. So I was met with 3 different things that stopped it. The anesthesia, 1, the strong painkiller, 2, and not being as active. So yes, it's a very real thing. If you can come off with the painkillers quickly, and the doctors tried to be proactive because they did put me on a stool softener from before I started the surgery.
Yeah.
But boy, it never really helped me.
So Shani, if we could recap before we let you go on this matter of bouncing back after surgery, the main points in relation to that bouncing back. I know you spoke of starting small and listening to your doctor and having, a goal in mind and all of that.
Okay, so first things, you have to listen to the guidance of your doctors. You don't want to undo what has been done. You don't want a setback. So listen to the guidance of your doctors and your physio. Take physiotherapy very seriously. Some people think it's a waste of time. It is not. You need to go through that rehab process. You need to start in small increments. You cannot run before you walk, and you can't walk before you crawl. You have to get back to the basics. Give yourself grace. Operate from a place of grace. Have a clear goal that you want for yourself and ensure it's a realistic goal. So for me, I had many goals, but as I spoke to you, my Fit for a Soca series was a very real goal for me. We're actually starting the Soca series. It's a 90-minute non-stop dance class that pushes everybody. I don't care what your fitness level is. You could be fit like fiddle. You could be just starting out. But guess what? If me, and I nicknamed myself Brook Up, if Brook Up can manage, anybody can manage. And we're actually starting that March 18th, and that's a Wednesday, at Barbican Football Field. So I have to have a clear goal and say, I need my hips moving for my Soca series. Whatever your goal is, you want to be able to walk a certain amount of laps around your complex or around your neighborhood. You want to be able to walk up the stairs by a certain time. You know, you need to set your goals and make them realistic, that they're attainable. Because sometimes when we set these unrealistic goals, it demotivates us. And most importantly, operate from a place of grace. Some of us may not go back to how we were before an injury, and that is okay. You have to set new goals for yourself, but keep motivated and keep moving in a safe manner.
And finally, Shani, for your series, persons who are interested in participating, is there a place where they can go to, for example, purchase tickets?
So tickets will be on sale starting next week at Yasta Fitbox or Yasta Fitness Limited, and that's at 13 East Kings House Road. This year, we're actually going to be doing some tickets on CaribTix to make it very convenient. So you can buy your tangible tickets, because I know some people want to just have that ticket in hand, or you can go on CaribTix to purchase the tickets. Majority of our sponsors are coming back on. It's just a good, healthy vibe. If you have nobody to watch your kids, bring them. We're on the Barbican Football Field. The kids will be contained in a nice, safe area. Good, wholesome fun getting ready for Carnival. And we start March 18th, and that's a Wednesday at Barbican Football Field.
Wonderful. Shani McGraham Shirley, fitness guru and principal CEO at Yasta Fitness Limited, talking to us this morning about bouncing back after an injury. Shani, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You are so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Have a good day. All right, going to take a break here now, and we'll come back with more on NTM.
You wanna hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work. You want a Lamborghini?
Fit Nation was brought to you by Express Fitness 24/7. Your goal is our mission.
Alson Pest Control Services, the pest control experts you can trust. Contact us at 876-338-6056. The time, courtesy of Alson Pest Control Services, is
8:21.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is
25 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 25 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 20 degrees Celsius.
So some of you have been listening longer than I've been talking on radio, so this is our way of keeping it strong together. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon and stay with us.
Nationwide News Network, Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
You may have been hearing the teasers. Now it's official. Beginning Monday, February 9, 2026, Nationwide News Network launches something special.
the Nationwide Family Club, exclusively on Patreon.
With the Family Club, members get early access to our documentaries before anyone else. Some of your favorite segments, including Cliff Says, What's on My Mind, Cover Story, and others will now be a click away inside the Family Club. There are 3 tiers of membership. First, runs, the Family Insider, behind-the-scenes access, Monday motivational videos, members-only chats, and on-air birthdays and anniversary shoutouts.
Second, Silver, Nationwide VIP. Breaking news alerts, exclusive documentaries, quizzes, personal milestones celebrated on air, and weekly family roll call mentions. Oh, and for our biggest supporters,
the gold category, elite listener, full archive access, early releases, private studio tours, live show experiences, personalized birthday videos, and exclusive live streams. From historic election coverage to Lifetime, Impact, Jamaican milestones, and rare archive content. This is Nationwide like you've never seen it before. The Nationwide Family Club, coming to you February 9, 2026 on Patreon.
Join the family, support Nationwide 90 FM, the station that informs, entertains, and educates. Visit patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. That's patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. Nationwide Family Club, where you are family, because we see you as family.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. .25 on the clock, turning now to an event that's happening on Wednesday, March 4, where the St. Catherine Parish Court will host its Traffic Ticket Public Day, where, if you got a ticket and you missed your court date, this is a chance for you to clear them in an orderly, hassle-free way so that you don't get any hassle down the road. For more, we're joined by Director of Client Services, Communications and Information at Court Administration Division, Mrs. Kadish Jarrett Fletcher. Good morning, Mrs. Fletcher.
Good morning, George.
How are you?
Morning to your listeners. I'm doing very well this morning. How are you?
It is well with me. It is well with me. Good to hear you this morning. Yes. All right. So, March 4, what's happening, where, why? Let's start with what's happening first.
We are having a massive traffic ticket public day at the St. Catherine Parish Court. We are doing this as part of our backlog reduction strategy for the parish court. Now, much of the backlog that is remaining before the parish court is in relation to traffic tickets. And that is why we are doing this, in an effort to try to get rid of these matters. Now, for St. Catherine, we have about 200,000 outstanding traffic tickets.
What?
Yes.
Accumulated over what period, Mrs. Fletcher?
From going back to February 2018.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That is a lot. So that's what we're trying to do. Now, the normal process for a traffic ticket, George, is when you get the ticket, you have the 30 days to pay at the tax office, and then there's a date there that you appear in court if you intend to challenge the ticket. Now, many of our motorists, even though they don't intend to challenge the ticket, for whatever reason, they don't pay it at the tax office. If that is not done and you don't come to court, then we have to wait on these motorists to come in or for the police to bring them in with a warrant to have the matter placed back before the court. So until the police can execute that warrant, many of our motorists do not come back and say to the court, please relist me for court. So we have taken this initiative to say, let's invite our motorists for this parish because the numbers are so large. Let's invite them to come back in. And in doing this, what we did was we recalled the warrants that were issued in the parish. Now, after March 4, we are going to be issuing warrants. So those persons who did not get to register for March 4, we are going to be issuing the warrants. And therefore, that will now be a matter for the police for them to execute those warrants.
And after March 4, Bly done.
I would not use those words.
I know you wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. But after March 4, you really can't have no excuses. The police hold on to you with an outstanding warrant.
Correct.
Yeah. All right.
That is correct.
In terms of registering for it, what do people need to do? Those who are listening to you, what do they do?
Well, registration closed last week Friday, George.
Oh.
So if persons did not take advantage of that opportunity, and we realized that while many persons did, we still have a large number of persons who did not.
Mm-hmm.
We registered, let's see, close to 8,000 persons, or a little over 8,000 tickets, not persons, tickets.
Yes.
Are registered and listed for March 4. Now, if you understand, when I said that we have close to 200,000 outstanding, you realize that still a large number of persons did not take advantage of this opportunity. But we are going to be treating with these persons who registered, and we are going to be dedicating 5 courtrooms on the day just for the traffic ticket matters. So we are operating on a very efficient schedule on the day, because persons will not come to spend the entire day. We are giving persons time slots. So persons will be, some persons are to come for 9, some are to come for 10, 11, and so on. And we are, as I said, we are dedicating 5 courtrooms to this, so persons will be in and out in a very quick and reasonable amount of time, so that we can get these matters dealt with on the day.
Yes. And would you go as far as to call the activity for March 4 an amnesty, Mrs. Fletcher?
No, it is not an amnesty. The judiciary, while we are a part of the governance structure in the country, we are not authorized to grant an amnesty.
Mm-hmm.
That can only be given by the executive arm of government. And so it's not an amnesty. What it is really, it's just an opportunity for our motorists to come in on a larger scale and have their matters dealt with before the court. That's just strictly what it is.
Yes.
The penalties or the fines that will be imposed will be at the discretion of the presiding judge.
Yes.
So we are not guaranteeing anyone any particular outcome. We're just saying to persons, register. Well, if you haven't already, you can't register again.
Mm-hmm.
And come and have your matter brought before the court and dealt with quickly and efficiently, so that you don't suffer the inconvenience of having the police coming to execute a warrant against you.
Yes. Well, people listening on will be saying, all right, so St. Catherine, when are they coming to Manchester? When are they doing Clarendon? When St. Mary? What can you say to that?
All right, the data persons are working out the data. We are going to be going to the next parish we go to will be the next parish that has a large number of outstanding traffic tickets. So when we get the data from the data persons, we will determine where we go next for this traffic ticket. But this is something that we intend to replicate across the parishes, because as I said to you earlier, this for us is a backlog reduction strategy. We are trying to ensure that we have a court system that is functioning very efficiently. And a part of the reason we have this challenge with the outstanding traffic tickets is because we had some difficulties with the system. In that the systems were not talking from the court side, from the team side. They just weren't talking to each other as they should. So you would pay your ticket, George, but sometimes it is still on the system as unpaid.
Yes.
And that is why we had paused on issuing the warrants because we recognize the risk of persons being unfortunately arrested by the police because we issue a warrant. Now that all of those kinks in the system have been regularized, George, we can and we are producing warrants electronically. They are being signed electronically. Judge is not sitting down and writing warrants again. So the warrants are being produced in droves now. Just in January or maybe early in February for Kingston alone, we were able to send out more thousands of warrants over to the police because it's an electronic system now. So the gaps in the system have been plugged, and so I want to caution our motorists when you do traffic tickets, especially if you don't intend to contest the ticket in court, just pay it at the tax office. And many persons, unfortunately, still don't recognize, George, that even if you're traversing in Westmoreland and you're from Portland and you get a ticket in Westmoreland, you don't have to pay it at the tax office in Westmoreland.
Yes.
You can pay it at any tax office. You can pay it online.
Yes.
So you don't have to go in. But if you do not pay it at the tax office, you're going to have to go back to Westmoreland to subject yourself to the jurisdiction of that parish to have the matter brought before the court because it can't dealt with simply in Portland. You have to go back. So we're saying the system is set up to be convenient for our motorists. So we're saying follow the processes.
Yeah.
And don't suffer the inconvenience.
There's a question that came in just as you were making a very important point. You spoke something similar, but I want to put it expressly so you can address it. Someone says, well, I got a ticket, I paid it, but the system is showing that the ticket is unpaid. What do I do in that situation?
You can send that in to us. When you send that in to us, if it was paid at the court, we go back and we check our files and we ensure that we update the system once you have your receipt and once we can prove that, yes, you did pay. If you pay it at the tax office and it is still there, then we're encouraging you to reach out to the tax office for them to update it from their side. So it depends on where you paid it. Paid it at the court, send it over to us at the court. You can send it to traffic tickets at jamaicajudiciary.gov.jm. Send it to that email address. We will check our records and we will update the system once we can establish that you have paid. If you did it at the tax office, then reach out to the tax office and they will regularize their records once they also can establish that you have paid.
Excellent.
Because we don't want our motorists to be inconvenienced because of challenges we had in the system.
Yes. And of course, you've said it already, but I'm asking you to repeat. Those who think that, Lord, I'm going to do the whole day, you're saying the system is designed to get people in and out quickly.
In and out quickly. We don't want people to be here for more than an hour. What we have done, we've given all the persons who have registered, we've given them time slots. If you got at 9 o'clock, you don't need to come to the court. You can come to the court just half an hour earlier or 15 minutes earlier. If you got at 12 o'clock, don't come at 9 because we are operating on a fixed list. Unless we finish before, we will not be treating with the 12 o'clock people. So we're saying come at the time you have been given. You will not be spending more than an hour with us. That is our commitment to you for the day. 5 courtrooms will be dedicated to all these matters, and we've listed the matters based on the number of tickets that persons have. So we have 2 fast-track courtrooms for those persons who have 1 ticket, 2 tickets. So they are in and out as quickly as possible. And then we have 3 other courtrooms to treat with those persons who might have a larger number of...
Yeah, man, the taxi man with 150 tickets and such, yes.
All our motorists, Roy.
Yeah, I'm saying things that you can't say. But thank you this morning, Mrs. Fletcher. I think the message has come across well. And March 4, she says registration was closed or is closed, and they're dealing with St. Catherine, but St. Catherine is not the only stop. Her data partners are informing the next stop, but it will be an all-island thing to free up, to remove, well, to unclog the system, to remove backlogs, and to ensure that motorists get a fair shake. But she said once the amnesty finish, then you'll be subject to whatever the court sets down. Not the amnesty, once the activity. Yes. Not an amnesty. She says because they're not empowered to so declare. Mrs. Fletcher, thank you this morning. All the best to you.
Thank you so much. Take care and all the best to our motorists.
Yes, indeed. Director of Client Services, Communication and Information at Court Administration Division, Kadish Jarrett Fletcher.
From the world to Jamaica, CFL delivers. Global reach, Caribbean reliability. Call 876-320-2263 or visit shipcfl.com. The time by CFL Jamaica is
8:38.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Hey folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC has given us some trouble, sorry folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
There's one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on! We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CG United Insurance. Good like that.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90 FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
This station raised me. It gave me a voice. And if Nationwide has ever meant something to you, come on in. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Tune in to Cliff Views Online, hosted by George Davis, right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Wednesday, February 25, as we broadcast live from the Jamaica Pegasus, where Regency Petroleum Limited is officially launching QPR Pothole Filler, an innovative asphalt repair product designed to provide permanent solutions to Jamaicans' persistent road maintenance challenges. We all know potholes are a daily frustration, draining public resources and damaging vehicles across the island. QPR changes that story. It's the #1 asphalt repair product in the USA, now available in Jamaica. With ministerial endorsement, QPR aligns with government priorities for safer, more efficient infrastructure while supporting a proudly Jamaican-owned company leading innovation in the energy and construction sectors. So tune in to Cliff Views Online, Wednesday, February 25 with George Davis, live from the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel for the official launch of QPR Pothole Filler. This broadcast is brought to you by Regency Petroleum Limited, fueling growth, building Jamaica.
All right. So here's what now. Some very important news for the Family Club members. I'm reminding you that this is the final week to sign up for the Family Club and get 50% off your first month's membership fee. This is the final week to sign up for the Family Club and get 50% off, half off your membership fee for the first month. The promotion ends February 28th. So these are the last few days of 50% off where the Family Club is concerned. Also, members of the Family Club will receive an email from the Family Club team with a form to complete. Yeah, we're not going to fill out one form, but we're going to email the form too. No? When you get the form will allow us, based on the information you provide, to activate your benefits. So, your birthday shout out, your anniversary shout out, personal milestones, death announcements, remembrance announcements for loved ones, scheduling your private studio tour and live show experience where you, the Family Club member, plus a guest will be able to have that experience. You'll be able to request personalized birthday video messages from your favorite Nationwide host. So Tony will be doing a lot of work, yeah. all of those things will be unlocked in that form that we will email to you. The Family Club team will send you an email, and you'll be completing the form, providing information on all of what I just said. All right? So look out for the form in your email. Look out for the form in your email. And when you get that form, fill out the form, send the form back to us, and we'll be ready to unlock all the benefits that come with your membership of the Nationwide Family Club. I want to send a special good morning to Wayne Anthony Lawrence, JP, one of our newest Family Club members. Wayne Anthony Lawrence, JP, thank you for signing up. Good morning to you. Alvin Ducasse, good morning to you, sir, and thank you for signing up. Also a new Family Club member. And Joseph Reynolds is also a new Family Club member. He has signed up. Thank you, Joseph. Welcome and good morning. So after February 28th, the promotion ends. So 50% off will expire on February 28th, and you'll have to then, pay what the cost is for the Family Club membership after that, the full cost, because the promotion ends February 28th. And for all members of the Family Club, look out for that email requiring information for you about your special occasions, special events, and of course to organize studio tour and personalized messages from your favorite Nationwide hosts. All of that come with your Family Club membership. We want to unlock that, but we can only unlock that with the best information. You have the best information about yourself. Send that information to us in an email. You don't have to just send the email. We will send the form to you. You fill out the form, send back the form, and we'll be cooking with gas. Why people say cooking with gas? As if cooking with gas is superior to cooking on wood fire. Because it's not. Yeah, but cooking with gas is convenient because you can cook at all times of the day, any weather. Wood fire thing now, you kind of can't do outside unless you have a facility in your house where you can do the wood fire and everything else is all right. But yeah, that's not so convenient. So gas is the phrase because of its convenience. I ask my question and answer my own question. That's a sign of madness, Anyway, read them up, Mr. King. Look at going on the birthday. Girl, them enough. Not in the enough sense as obnoxious.
Oh.
No, man, absolutely not. Everywhere you go, Hampton. No, sir. What's the student population in Hampton? How much of them produce a year time? Not enough, man. When come like bees. Everywhere you go, you find Hamptonian or a few. No, sir.
Yeah.
Is that planned? Them just planted all over the place. But enough and plentiful. No, sir.
Hello to all the ladies this morning, all the old girls, the HOGs. And the ones who are now in school.
All right, King, drop that tune from Captain. King, we go check Captain one day, you know.
So many people wanna see me stop loving.
Andy Smith, what you there with your pot cover them, girl? Are you King and play them tune for you?
Stop loving you, girl. No, I can't stop.
All right,
loving you.
King, what you can do with that tune, you know?
I wouldn't be so ungrateful to you. You've done so many things for me. You even made me strong when I.
Why we not stop lover?
So many people wanna.
What happened to you, Mr. King? All right, what happened to you? Rasta to Rasta. Rasta to Rasta. What man say?
It's growing.
Yeah, stop. It not gonna answer the Rasta, King. It not gonna answer the Rasta. That's why Tana is such a disappointment. That's true.
I just knew you were going there. I just knew.
Yes, and it's showing.
Hampton should recall Tana.
So long we've been together. Can't keep you to myself. Got to share you with another. Got to share.
Ask them something now, King. Ask them something now.
It's going.
Rasta will ask you a question. What the question? What the question? What the question? What the question? What's the question? Come in, Crown Prince. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Have you ever? You ever? Yeah. What happened to your one, no King? What happened to your one, no King? Your one is like.
Spreading all over the world. Oh gosh, girl, your love is like wildfire, spreading all over the world. I've sent you roses many a time, wanting you
Yeah, man.
to come on over. Girl, I've heard a lot of things.
How the world is running. This is what you're telling me to do.
I want to be with you. Hold on to what you got.
Hold on.
Hold on to what you got.
Hold on.
Hold on to what you got. Hold on to what you got. If you can accept none of criticism, then you know you're on your way. If you can accept on your journey, then you know my heart is yearning. Oh yeah, hold on to what you got. Hold on to what you got.
Freddie McGregor's favorite singer, Dennis Emmanuel Brown.
Come along,
Jesus,
yeah, and dig my song.
What do you know? Too much what? Too much what?
Too much wagonist.
And what?
Too much antagonist.
And?
Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the sheep and the shepherd. Yes.
Wolves and leopards are trying to kill the good 4%ers.
Too much informers.
Too much.
Too much still bearers.
Too much.
Too much informers. Too much still bearers. Time to separate the sheep from the wolves. We're at the crossroads, and this is the time of this.
At the crossroads in the downtown. I don't tell you that.
Too much informers. Too much still bearers.
I remind you that the Reggae Gold Awards will take center stage at National Arena on Friday evening, 7:30 p.m. A host of outstanding contributors to the culture, to the craft, will be honored with their awards. Jamaica Music Museum playing a huge role in that under the leadership of the Minister of Culture, Olivia Babsy Grange. Luciano and the Symphonic Orchestra Mega Band will be on stage performing along with some more of your favorites, and some really, really big names will be honored on Friday, 7:30. It's free at the National Arena. Looking forward to seeing you.
Time now for birthdays. Sending happy birthday greetings out to Rashane Hofstede in Falmouth, Cordino Campbell in Westmoreland, Carlos McKenzie in Mandeville, and Nadine Campbell Love. Happy birthday greetings to all of you coming from Sergeant Wayne Wallace. Happy birthday as well to Donald Jackson. Happy birthday Sheena Ramdeen, Janice Smelly, Carrion Hepburn Malcolm, Mitzi Fraser, Wayne Smith, Jacqueline Tingling, Kim Diamond Thompson, Kimberly Hibbert, and Trisha Wright. Kimberly Hibbert, formerly of the Jamaica Observer.
Yeah, man, and she was a former secretary at the Press Association of Jamaica. Very, very, very good girl. Oh, Kim,
yes.
you know your birthday today, Kim. I'll call you when I finish, yeah?
Happy birthday to you, Kim. Wishing for you a lovely day. Some more birthdays here. This one, a VVVIB, very, very important birthday here. This one says, wishing my amazing daughter, Zoe Morgan, a very happy 18th birthday today. 18? Yeah, Zoe, I'm so proud of the strong, kind of beautiful young woman you've become. Keep shining, keep dreaming big, and never forget how deeply you are loved. Love from your mom, Dion Webb. So happy birthday to you, Zoe Morgan.
18 and fabulous Zoe Morgan. Enjoy, celebrate. Yeah, you are only 18 once, Zoe. So these are the best times of your life. So, the parents have set it for your mom and set it for you. So kick on. Happy birthday, Zoe.
Happy birthday. Ironside JM is sending birthday greetings to Norman S. Burke, OD, celebrating his 78th birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Sir Norman. Wishing for you a great one. I see MDL sending happy birthday to Sister Monica Hudson Harrison over there in Albion, St. Thomas. Happy birthday to you today, Monica Hudson Harrison. Greetings coming from MHA. And Ursuline Bowen is saying, my granddaughter will be graduating as a doctor in May. And she's from Hampton.
Hey, me tell you.
25 years old.
Oh, gosh, man.
Okay.
But now, I can't say I'm tired out because I'm not. But well enough. Congratulations.
Congratulations
Doctor.
to your granddaughter, Ursuline Bowen. Wishing for her all the best. Kamisha Bernard sending happy anniversary to Ewan Brown and Kamisha Bernard Brown. Okay, so Kamisha, it's your anniversary today. So happy anniversary to the Browns, Ewan Brown and Kamisha Bernard Brown. Wishing for you guys a fabulous day. Glenn Binns sending happy birthday to Sister Colleen Smith over there on Red Hills Road. So Colleen Smith, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Your brother says, love you, sis, and continue to be the kind, giving person that you are. Have a wonderful day. Hopping back over into the chats. Right, so MDL, right, I saw your birthday. Gail Porter saying, happy birthday to an amazing woman, mother, and friend, Mrs. Keisha McLaughlin. May Almighty God bless and keep her with good health and strength. So happy birthday to you, Keisha, from Gail Porter. And Patrick Rowe sending happy birthday greetings to brother A.G. Rowe there in Florida. Wishing for him a good one and many, many more. So happy birthday to you, A.G. Rowe, from Patrick Rowe.
Na, na, whoa. Na, na, whoa.
What? All right, then. King is asking me how many times I've been to Spanish Town and this has happened to me. What's the this that has happened to me now, King? Talk to me. Talk to me now, King. How much time? How much time? What do I say?
I stopped for a while. My favorite car.
Ease up the Gregory. Ease up the Gregory. Ease up the Gregory. Can't play Gregory like that. And yeah, we are though. Yeah. Put it up. Drop an eagle again. Take time, drop an eagle, you know. Don't make an eagle. At the last eagle may have, don't break the eagle, sir. Take time, put on the eagle. Peace up.
I stopped for a while on my favorite corner. Imagine I drink come up to wine, say me glad you come on. A long time me no eat, him say me no have nowhere to sleep. I beg you let have something. Running very
Alright, King. The Spanish Town alone.
Didn't buy me a half. Let have
everywhere.
Give I man a man. Let have some boy. Let have some.
Me a TV me set up on me see upon it, so let have something.
The daily experience.
I tell you the struggle is real. Eh?
When you go in, this your time will crucial.
Seeing this one here, happy birthday greetings to a one-of-a-kind friend, Mrs. Keisha McClocking, is it Uter?
Yeah.
Who is celebrating her very special day today. Happy birthday to you, Keisha. Loads of love and blessings coming from the Sinclairs, Donita, Ringo, Matthew, and the rest of the family. They're saying to you, we love and appreciate you, Keisha. Have a blast today and be blessed.
Good family sending greetings for Keisha and the Sinclairs, you know.
Yeah.
Man. So Keisha, your birthday is today. Payday! We hope that you enjoy it.
A good day to be celebrating your birthday, Keisha.
King Tanas who start work and collect our partner money.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder.
Tana message say, hey peeps.
Just a gentle reminder.
Oh, John of mercy. King, I longest partner in history. Brethren, no sir. Me don't know no brother. Well, I know me get one job about 2 years ago. Me still not trust. If I never thought I would have think there's something skullduggery go on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hey peeps, so better look out for that text this morning. I'm sorry for that. I should come off here.
Yeah, it's
hey
coming.
Peeps,
It's coming. Sharon says happy birthday to team member Sophia. Sophia, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you from Sharon. So those are all the birthdays now, right? And Sharon is saying that Sophia is at Livewell Pharmacy. So the Livewell Pharmacy family and Sharon sending Sophia happy birthday greetings.
Big up Livewell Pharmacy and everybody connected to it this morning. Good morning.
For sure. So those are all the birthdays now. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday today. If it's your anniversary like the Browns, happy anniversary to you.
King, now Gregory, we play this morning and the wickedest tune from morning. You ever tell him? Anyway, when this man listen to a morning time secret, you know, come call me and say, we ain't hear him no? Why, me here? No, I running for me. No, I say this, man, relax your brain. What is coming? You know, I will see it till it hit you, yeah?
Oh, Lordy. That's all for the show. Thank you so much
live
for
the life
tuning
you
in.
love. You love the life you live.
For tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Thanks so much to our technical operator, the musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor will be in soon.
We hope.
Kevin Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton at 10. Cliffy's Online with George. I'm Tana.
And I'm George.
Good morning.
For all the diamonds and the money and pearl. I hope your reggae music keep playing around the world. No matter what the
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Whoa, whoa, breathe in. I bring from Jah to all.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.